Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. This will deal with adult themes and have strong language.
But no maturity. Because I'm here.
Well, yeah, I'm... And we're going to be getting drunk, so I think, Tria, you're probably the only one who's going to be safe here.
Oh, God, don't leave it in my hands.
You're the designated adult.
Oh, fuck. I don't do adulting after 5 p.m. That's when I stop getting paid. My official work hours are 12 to 5 days a week.
Bob and I seem to have just bad timing that we never seem to be able to do it at the same time, but I've really been trying to have a drunk stream with him. Although I really want it to be with somebody else moderating it so that he and I can both just get totally plastered together.
Yeah, I was about to say, like Bub can handle himself to a degree even while he's like, what's the term? I don't know, but you, on the other hand, I've heard you say that there's a point where somebody has to cut you off.
Well, I mean, there just has to be somebody, able to mute things. All in all, it's not bad. I've had a number of days that I've gotten up and checked Twitter to see if there was anything I needed to apologize for. And I haven't really found anything that I thought I was seriously in trouble for.
Nah, you're fine, Purple. You're always kind.
Yeah.
I try to not, oh gosh. What did I miss?
Nothing.
Oh, we got in the side chat, Godless Sewing.
Yay. Hey, Godless Sewing. Godless Sewing is cool. I try not to say anything mean on Twitter. And part of it is a pathological need for other people to like me. Mm-hmm. But another part of it is it's so easy in that format to be misread or misunderstood. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also I have some opinions that are a bit extreme. And I used to teach argumentation. Like I taught English lit and composition and stuff. So I used to teach people like, hey, if you want to reach your audience, you don't want to alienate them. You want to get their attention and then, try and convince them to blah, 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 all that stuff. So when things get contentious, especially between people I know, I tend to just peace out. I just don't involve myself. And it's not that I don't care. It's that I'm like, I don't know enough about this situation. I don't know what's going on and I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, Twitter is a hellscape. I wish I could find something that had as much reach as Twitter does.
Right? It's so great.
That isn't so and part of it is there are people who are purposely going out and trying to misconstrue stuff. Mm-hmm. There are people who you're going to reach people who have different cultural differences that you're not going to be able to communicate through the 280 fucking characters.
Exactly. And if you're loquacious like me, that's a real bitch too.
Yeah, well, that's my problem with Twitter is brevity is not a strong point for me.
Right.
No, it's not for me either, but it's the best option I have. And like I said in the other stream, if I found something that had the reach of Twitter that worked better, I would totally fucking jump ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's people that I've made connections with that I wouldn't have made connections with on Facebook or YouTube just because of how Twitter works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're so right. I made basically when I realized I was an atheist, all of my family, I'm the only one except for my spouse who doesn't believe, and that we know of anyway. And everyone is very religious. And so basically Twitter was my place to be an out atheist because none of my family members were on Twitter up until my mother-in-law had a Twitter account, apparently. She followed us both. Yeah. Yeah. And she's a lovely person. She's very kind and lovely, but she followed us both for a while and then very quickly stopped following her child, who is my spouse. And she's, as far as I know, she still follows me, because every once in a while when I post something very generally, very general, but positive, she'll comment on it. But she doesn't comment on any of the atheist stuff. And I get that. I mean, she's married to a reverend. It never occurred to me that, and I knew that she was very savvy and very intelligent and that she was online. I knew she was on Facebook and stuff, but I had no idea that she was on Twitter. And I know
worlds collide. I know that most of my family is nowhere near Twitter. They see it as just like a hellscape, which they're right, it is.
Mm-hmm. It can be, yeah.
But pretty much I am more myself online than I am here at the house or in my hometown, because while I would never be in any physical danger if my family found out that I was atheist, the pressure would be on, and living with them.
Yeah. Well, my siblings know. The two that there's four of us, and one I'm not close with. But the twins I'm very close with, my brother and my sister. And they're amazing. And they know, and it makes them sad because they want me to be in heaven with them.
Yeah.
Someday. Yeah. My sister is Baptist and my brother is an evangelical Christian, and we were all raised Catholic. So when they converted to those things, I was sort of like, so the way we were raised wasn't strict enough for you? Is that what you're saying? I was very confused. But
I don't know. It depends on what kind of a Catholic you are, because it ranges from like.
Oh yeah, no, we were not casual. My parents sang.
Yeah.
My mother actually wanted to be a nun. That was her initial desire in life.
Heaven.
But by the time she was graduating from high school, the church had started allowing lay people to serve in a lot of different capacities. So my parents were in the choir. They were Eucharistic ministers. They would go around to like nursing homes and, take the Eucharist to the Holy Communion to Catholics who were, home bed in nursing homes and stuff. And they did. And then they fundraised for St. Vincent de Paul, and they did, all this stuff. And it was because of all of those things opening up for lay people to do that my mother decided that maybe she could have romance in her life and serve the church at the same time. So that's what she did. And she taught parish religious education. She's a wonderful teacher. She's great with small children. But the sad thing about that is she's also great at indoctrinating people. But she's, but she believes it. She truly believes, like, it comes from a place of love. It really does. She absolutely believes it. Hey, Godless Sewing!
How's it going?
Stop me talking about my mama on the internet. Seriously, I'm saying nice things, but still, it's freaking me out. I need to stop.
How's everyone doing?
A little drunk, a little happy.
Awesome.
Cried a bit during Kamala Harris. Made me cry in a good way, gotta say.
Yeah, it's been ups and downs the past couple of days.
Yeah, it really has.
I was thinking about that, and what if like Biden even winds up in the hospital just for a week, that we have a black woman as president? How they're going to lose their shit.
I don't care. I don't care. They can deal with it. Okay. For fuck's sake.
I've reached that point where I'm over. I live in a Trumper town, so I'm over the trucks with the flags. I'm over people in general.
Mm-hmm. It's been too long. Yeah. It's like what Biden said tonight when in his speech. He said something about it's not that it's the time, it's overdue, something like that. And I was like, yeah, it's like decades fucking overdue is what it is. So yeah, yay. We finally have not only a person of color as a vice president, a woman person of color, and I'm sorry to do that, but the old school feminist inside me is just like, yay, there's a woman in the executive branch. Ah! So I'll chill out, I promise. And no offense meant to anyone else. I just
Can I just Can I just
Happy.
explain something, please?
Yes.
Before I was dragged into this filth, I was having a lovely conversation with my new friend Julie.
And we were.
We were having grown-up conversations about politics and the bad things in the world. I'm now kind of pissed off because I'm back with you guys and we're talking about...
And I'm
penis.
fangirling over Kamala Harris.
Well,
And-
you know, if you're
and
pissed
you're
off
being-
about being back with us, I can always kick you out.
No.
Yeah, I think you should do that because, look, I've taken the hat off.
Aw. Well, we're going to talk again,
Yeah.
sir, because I enjoyed it. So.
I
feel
hit the
like-
wrong thing.
Oh, good.
I was wondering where you'd gone.
I was like, oh, were we mean?
Sorry.
I didn't.
I actually did that on Godless Granny's stream. And towards the end of the stream, everybody was talking, and I started hitting buttons, and I totally clicked out like a shrub.
It's easy to
Yeah.
do.
I hit
Nerdy
the wrong
runs in the
X.
chat. I'm sorry. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry, Ms. Dragon
it's all
Queen.
right.
I apologize. Those are the
Sorry.
greatest ears.
Thank you. Let me see if they're charged up. They light up.
Oh my god. Are
Uh,
those headphones with cat ears?
Yep. Uh huh. And they're speakers too.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay, we're
Fun
done.
stuff.
Y'all, okay, that's going on the birthday wish list. Listen, this year has been so fucking shitty
Right?
that I am shamelessly going to ask for birthday presents this year.
Girl, do it. I will
yeah.
send you something. I'm laid off. I will find a way. I'll make it if I have to.
And we have Microraptor with us.
And Godless
Yay.
Sewing is the prince of making everything. Like this person can make everything.
I'm definitely a DIY kind of guy. Definitely.
I'm just gonna put this out here. You know how it works when you see somebody on cam for the first time, even though you know them, and it's kind of weird.
I know. I was weirded out by how
I'm
hot
trying not to.
some
I'm
people
trying
were.
not to just start talking to you, Stool. So I agree.
My avatar looks
What?
better than my actual face.
I love
Gotta
all of
say-
your faces.
I've
I
got to
love your
say,
face. Your dimples.
I've got to
So
say
cute.
that Godless Sewing, you guys are not old enough, but Thunderbirds.
Like the car?
If you're not familiar
You're
with
talking
that
about
thing,
the stop animation with
Yeah,
the
the
string?
marionette series.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm a lot older than I look.
Yeah, I
I
used to watch that
vaguely
after
remember
school.
that. Yeah. No,
I know
remember
about
that.
it, but I never watched it.
I'm
When
gonna-
did that air?
I'm going to say it. Well, it was 1968.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. I
But I-
would have seen it on reruns then.
Godless Sewing is the sexiest puppet ever.
Mm.
I would do you too, Stool.
Let
I would
cat ears
totally
on
do
that.
you too.
LED cat ears are on. Oh my god. Okay, y'all. It's
You wanna
been
get
really
personal?
busy in my household, and
Yeah,
so a lot of normal things have not happened, and now I have lots of fun brain candy to work with later. Thank you.
Nice.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
I totally love that jacket, Godless Sewing. That is so
Oh,
cool.
thank you. I actually moved my computer so you guys could see half of my hoarding. This is like only
Hey.
half.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, my friend, take a look at the back of my room, and this is the part y'all can't see. Okay.
Yeah, Sloth
Hang on.
Girl is very crafty with all the needlework, knitting and crocheting and sewing.
It's
These
an
are the
actual love
books.
of mine. Like all.
Yeah.
These are the
I
books
tend to
you
work
can-
in the harder materials and power tools.
Yeah.
I do that too.
That's
I actually
very
I
hot.
make totem poles and all kinds of fun stuff.
Well,
Oh,
I also
by the
I got
sew.
a fun thing. Hold on.
Sorry about that. I hope no one needs a grandma meat
Beep.
or anything.
I would show y'all my stuff, but yeah, no, my room's not. Not
Oh,
possible.
fiddlesticks.
I
Oh,
was
honey,
actually
my
sewing
room.
earlier and I lost all motivation. I was watching everybody party and I was like, I'm being lame. So I might as well
Right?
actually do something instead of, sewing on
Thank
the side.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I didn't want to go. I didn't want to, like, my friends and I all texted.
Check it out.
This was- oh, that's a really cool dragon.
Awesome.
And it moves. Hold on.
Where's the move?
Whoops.
I like toys. That's amazing.
I've got one of those.
Oh my gosh. You have one of those? That's amazing. Bella's sewing. Your coffee cup is beautiful. It's a thing of beauty.
It
Turn this
fits,
off.
half a,
Oh,
yeah, it's
that
like
is
half a
cool.
cup, half a pot of coffee right here.
I gotta find a place to
Nice.
hang him up.
He needs to be hung up. Yeah, for sure. Like with
Yeah,
the
I had it down in my
fishing
living
line.
room for a while. Yeah, it's like invisible fishing line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do that.
So yeah, when he hangs up, he's flapping everywhere. He looks like he's actually flying. I got him for $30 off of Lakeside.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Lakeside here is actually a home for it's a mental illness facility as well as
Well,
a
Lakeside Collections.
sorry.
We'll
So
put it
for a
that way.
second, I was confused. I was like, what did how now?
Yeah, anything with like Lakeside or Lakeshore around here is like a rehab, or it's always something bad.
They do that too. There's an
Yeah.
unfortunate situation where I live because people are crazy in the South, where like they'll catch their teenager who smoked one joint, and they'll put them in Lakeside for mental health
Reefer
treatment,
madness.
which sucks. Yeah, exactly. It's insane. But then you get people who really know a Microraptor. Hey, I love you. That's
Thank
why
you,
she's the
Microraptor.
Dragon Queen. Yeah. All hail the Dragon Queen.
Rawr.
Guys, I talk a lot. Don't wait for me to finish. Just jump right over.
I'm trying to be nice. And
I
not
know,
be
I
anything.
know. But
When I was a
I'm kind of
teenager,
I'm
drunk.
actually a yak, so I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah. Go ahead, Purple.
when I was a teenager, I had made a dragon, doing a wireframe, and I skinned it with the tissue paper and the model airplane dope.
Nice.
Nice.
And
Very
I actually ran a tube through it that I could hook up to the propane canister from my torch, so you could actually breathe fire.
Oh, no shit.
And I wound up setting him on fire. So then I went to I did as a project at the shop in school, I cast the wooden skull into aluminum. So I gave him an aluminum skull so he wouldn't set himself on fire again.
That
Nice.
is so badass. Well done.
Mhm. At Renaissance Festival here, like not last year, but the year before, they had an
Aluminium.
actual like dragon
Aluminium.
that would walk around like a foam rubber dragon, and like I mean, the person in the suit would like make it bend down, it would roar, it had little wings, and it was just so cool. But the weather here in Florida is so freaking hot. I'm sure that dude
Ugh.
was sweating every
Right?
second in there.
Girl, I'm in
Like a-
Tennessee. I can't even imagine. No.
Yep.
It was, I think, 60 degrees today, and everybody panicked because it was the first day of winter. So
Yeah.
2 days
Oh,
ago.
cute! Oh, a flower.
Hello. That's beautiful. I'm assuming good day, sexy people. Watch our watchers.
Howdy.
Cool. Did you make that? I'm assuming you made that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do tatting,
Oh, nice.
and this is one of the techniques I learned this year.
That is so cool.
I'm
That's
sorry, it's very
awesome.
hard for me to figure out how to show it on the
No, I
camera.
can.
My
Yeah, we
hand
can see it
eye
really well.
bad.
Yeah, we
But
can see it really
yeah.
well. It almost looks. I mean, it's not, but it. Nope, I'm not gonna even say that. I was gonna say it almost looks like a black-eyed Susan, but it's prettier.
I'm not sure what it is. It's just like your normal five petal,
Hmm.
and then this is for the outfit that's in my avatar. This is the pattern that I use. Hold on.
Nice. Oh, Microraptor does not know what tatting is. I only know what tatting looks like, being from the South. I don't know that
It's
it's a definition.
using shuttles to tie the same knot over and over again. In
Did you
different
say using shadows?
shuttles?
Oh, shuttles. Shuttles. Okay, got it.
I'm sorry,
I was,
I'm
for a
having.
second, I was like, what kind of alchemy are you doing?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
The
just
best
figured
kind.
since we were talking
Yeah,
about
the best
stuff-
kind.
I figured since we were talking about stuff, I would brag because I haven't had a chance in a while.
You should.
Oh, yeah, you should show it off.
should.
I wish I had that kind of skill.
That's that's really
I wish
cool.
I had that kind of patience.
Oh,
See,
God, I wish I had that
Doing
every
that
day.
same repetitive movement over and over would drive me nuts.
So,
My projects generally are at least 10 hours long, at least, but that's like the low end. The high end for me was I made a dragon out of tatting that took me about 80 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And
You have the
that was
patience of a
just, like,
saint.
dragon. No,
How long
I
did that
don't
take,
have-
like, total? Like, how many days did that take?
I think it took me probably about 2 to 3 months to finish.
Yeah. I start
like,
things and then it takes a while to finish it.
Yeah, because like I can't just sit down and do tatting. Like there are time periods where yes, I can just sit down and tat.
Okay, I'm pretty
But
damn
I also
sure
have
that
to run and finish the house.
tatting is a euphemism. I know.
No, it's a kind of lace work, yeah.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
it's considered a kind of lace work.
Yeah,
it's considered a kind of lace work. Most people.
See, now I gotta grab a couple.
I
try
know.
to avoid using the word
Phillip.
because a lot of times people will be like, "Oh, you mean tattoos?" And I'm like,
no,
I cannot draw."
The thing is, I know what you're doing because I'm the weird British person. So when you guys talk about tatting or whatever, that other thing that you talked about earlier, Julie.
Oh, what was it? Oh God, what was it?
You.
I don't know.
No, the other person. I can't remember. I'm so shit faced tonight.
No, it's all right. I'm quite buzzed myself. I'm buzzed leaning into drunk right now, and I'm happy about it.
I feel kind of scared because you guys use words that I don't understand, and I'm pretty damn sure you're talking about sex things.
No. And you know what? You use words we don't know sometimes.
If I were about to crack something about sex, you would know it because when it's an ace, it hits different.
Yeah, exactly. And
before
I was being really suggestive when I first came on, and then I remembered that you're ace, and I was like, "Am I being an asshole? I don't know."
No.
Yeah, and
so this is my way of asking if I'm being an asshole.
And the US does not have one uniform language. And I do not exaggerate when I say me talking to someone from the deep south would be for you, Stu, when talking to someone from Wales.
I love you, Purple.
Oh, where I live in Southern California, we literally have our own language.
Oh,
I'm trying to say dude and literally every
very
other
distinct dialects.
Yeah, it's like I can hear the Southern whenever I'm out of the state. I can hear it when somebody else, because you can tell. You can always tell and kind of hear it.
Yeah, Florida. Yeah. I think Florida has more of the East Coast mix in it, so it's easier for me. As opposed to
we get like a lot of the snowbirds that come down.
Georgia.
Yeah,
that's a fair point.
Well,
part of there's a lot of accents
where
here
you
too.
are in Florida too, because I'm in northern Florida, and while I don't have the accent, there are a shitload of people who do.
Can we just make this very clear?
Oh, thank you, Philip.
There's only 6 of us here, so let's just get this sorted.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally got the best accent here, so
yeah, you do. It's like butter. It's so
good. You've got the most posh one.
I love it. It's not posh.
Only to Americans, though.
Wait, am I right about that? I think I'm right about that.
When you don't hear it as much, it sounds so exotic and so lovely. And I'm sure, like, if you...
I'm also
maybe that's just my opinion.
I'm slightly pissed off because Thunderbird 2 has got a really better head than mine. So can we make him go away, please?
Stop it some more.
Hey, what did... Oh, wait. Yes, and also, Godless Sewing, what did you want to show us? You said you were going to show us
all kinds of stuff.
I know you do.
I'm seeing how far you can see in here because I turn the lights on and I have
I can enlarge you.
I have a 3-foot.
The skeleton with the guitar is amazing.
That's my lawyer Varos. He's waiting for his lost legions. He's got a Roman helmet on.
Nice.
It's kind of Halloween year round in here.
Hells yeah!
I have a 3-foot Master Chief. I kind of.
Yeah, no way. That's amazing.
Master Chief.
And I have an obsession with dead technology. Like I have, there's nothing but keyboards and there's 2 computers sitting right here. I have an old Panasonic camera hooked up right here.
You and Junk Shop would get along so well. Let me tell you, there's so much shit in this house. That,
I forgot to turn it on before I
sorry.
clicked on. Oh,
I
no,
mean,
go ahead.
No, I just mean there are so many treasured things in this home that no one can use and take floppy disks. But anyway.
So these are these decorations, but those are more like on the San Francisco style. But these, I made each patch one by one by hand.
Oh, that is so cool.
Those are so great.
And these took me forever. These are my hobo overalls, and I do wear them around town with my cowboy hat on.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love the quilting.
That's awesome.
That is beautiful.
Oh my god,
dude,
this
you're
is so
talented.
painful. This is
No,
painful.
like
Stool is dying over there.
Stool. What do you make, man?
Oh, Stool. I have a also Star Trek obsession.
Picard.
So I have
Can you make him small just for a little bit, please?
Oh, Microraptor, a Roman, and he isn't named Rory. Nice Doctor Who reference. I dig you, my friend. I dig you, girl. That's amazing.
That was so utterly
riveting.
That was so painful because all the girls were going, oh.
Well, because all of us, I'm assuming, look, I'm making an assumption, ladies. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm making an assumption that all of us have done a wee bit of sewing at some point, even if it was just mending or hemming or something. Okay. Because I'm not great at it. I've made some costumes. I'm not great at it, but you know,
I've never even tried.
Clothes very much, but I do sew.
I mostly sew by hand. I suck at sewing machines unless I have my friend there to tell me exactly what to do. So when I see stuff like that, what I'm seeing is, oh, I know like this much of that. You know, meters and meters and meters and kilometers more than I know about that.
Yeah. Last time I tried a sewing machine, trying to get something straight, I'm like, because my thing kept bunching up and moving and sliding, and I was in home ec and they took me off the sewing machine. They're like, you can do something else.
I made a dress for a LARPing thing. This is how big of a nerd I am. That's live action role playing.
I want to LARP so bad.
Yeah, and it was a 10th.
Make it more interesting because
I'm working on it. There's a bee sting that happens in a cleavage area. If you'll let me get to my story. So I make this dress, and it's a 13th century dress. I don't know. I love you too. With fur cuffs and like a fur thing and a plunging neckline, you know, and I don't have much going on up top, so the plunging neckline was just fun. And but one of the sleeves hung really loose and one was like super tight because it was the first long sleeve thing I ever made. And then a bee stung me in a very uncomfortable place, and a friend of mine took tobacco and put it in his mouth and got it all wet and put it on top, and it drew the stinger out. I'm not saying I'm a doctor. I don't recommend this, but it worked for me that day. Ugh. Moving on.
Okay. Is there a comfortable place to be stung by a bee?
No. No.
If there is.
But when you're a masochist, when you're a young lady and you end up with a scar on a place where you might rather not have one, it's a little weird.
I'm sure there were plenty of guys willing to kiss it and make it feel better.
Oh, there were. Thank you. Some ladies too.
I sewed this. It's basically like a hooded vest.
Heck yeah.
I'm not very good at sewing, but
hang on. Can you hold it up a little bit?
I'm trying.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I can see the hood. The hood's beautiful.
Yeah, and then the vest.
Oh, you have a good inseam. You're like 900 steps above the average person.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at holding things to the camera, but yeah, this is my hood. It's also kind of big because I wanted something that was like.
It was kind of. Yeah, I get you. Kind of billowy.
But yeah, basically. The inside, nice. Yeah. And
that's cool. Very cool. That's very cool.
That's about the extent of what I can do. I can do a skirt, and I can do this.
Yeah, I could make a skirt. I can I honestly, for somebody, and I'm not trying to be naughty here. Well, maybe just a teeny bit, but we discovered.
As naughty as you want, honey.
Well, I'm not going to get, no, I will not. We discovered that when we were moving, so my spouse finds this entire Tupperware like storage container that was in my closet, and they open it up and they're like, okay. And I was like, what? And they said, these are all corsets. For somebody who doesn't wear a corset very often, I'm just saying. Like, and the look on Junk Chop's face was like, you know what I mean? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Like, seriously, you've got this many I haven't even seen. But yeah, apparently I have an obsession with acquiring corsets. I just don't wear them as often as
you should wear them. You really should. They're fun.
They are fun.
Yeah. And it takes a while to learn how to tie yourself up, but
and the posture is like crazy. Like modern furniture does not want you to have that good of posture. It's very difficult.
This is obviously show and tell. So
no, stay.
Every time I go on the stream,
we'll move on in a second.
I show up because I seriously I make everything. It happens. I apologize, Stool. I apologize.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good with it. You know, I would be showing stuff off too, except that one of the problems with my old computer is it doesn't want to acknowledge my camera's plugged in.
Oh.
And plus,
the other problem is nobody gives a shit about your Lego.
So, that's a fair point. Okay.
I wasn't talking about the Lego. I do a lot of other stuff.
No, you don't.
No, I mean,
you don't.
I build furniture. I sew.
Okay, Microraptor has a funny question, and the answer is maybe, but I'd enjoy it. So it would be fine. They're gonna, oh my god, if they see this later, they're gonna be like, excuse me, I'm very private.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, around here where I live, there's Treatale. You are familiar with Gasparilla, right? I live in Tampa, so you know about the Gasparilla celebration? Like, you heard of it?
Oh, a slight little bit. I might need a bit of a refresher.
Basically, it's like a celebration of the pirate Jose Gaspar, where like they storm the bay and the regatta, and then they have the big parade with the floats. Around here, they have a pirate shop that they make their costumes, and you can go there and get stuff already made. You know, like put together your costumes. It's awesome. I went there once and I spent like an hour trying things on. It was amazing.
Give me the address, because when I can travel, I'm hitting that fucking shop. Because
absolutely,
like any proper Floridian, I do at least 1 or 2 pirate events a year because you have to.
This is the place for you. The guy that runs it is super nice. But like at the time I was looking into getting a corset, so I had them try it on with me. They gave me a nice, really flowy skirt, a nice low plunging top, and then they did the corset. And as they got it tighter and tighter, let's just say I'm not the skinniest person, and I'm more shaped like a pear. So as this
me
thing,
neither, but it looks like you've got to fill it out.
Yeah,
just saying.
As this thing got tight, I was like, wow, okay. So I'm standing up and I'm letting it, like correct my back. So they said, yeah, go sit down, try it out. As soon as I went to go sit down, this is going to be a visual, I was like, it came up to here. I'm like, this isn't going to work for me.
No, yeah, I know. I'm the same way. Like I wear corsets technically wrong because I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to sit like this. Like there's a giant iron thing up my back. I can't do it.
What realize is that you're supposed to break those suckers in.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
And it's supposed to form the shape of your body.
Yeah, you're supposed
to form your skeleton.
I have the same problem. I'm very pear-shaped, as you can tell.
Yeah. Well, I found a good compromise. Like, any of you familiar with Wish? I bought a dress from it that you're supposed to form it yourself. It comes with a ribbon. But I just bought the dress. I threw away the ribbon. I went to the Renaissance Festival and I like one of the vendors there, they sell bodices. So that for me was a really good compromise. So I said, this is a green dress, let's see if we can find something that'll work with this. And they found something really nice. I paid like $80 for it, and they helped me lace it up and everything. And that was my costume all this year. I went like 5 weekends in a row before COVID took it away.
Oh, yeah.
I need to respond. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. You got a question?
Did they help you?
Help her in what way?
Yeah. It seems like there's more of that sentence. Oh, you're just leaving it there. Okay.
I need more.
They helped me lace it. Like, it laces in the front. So that's because you have to like crisscross, or however they did it. I do it by myself now, and like I think I get it right.
It's
but
like a tennis shoe. Like if you know how to lace a tennis shoe, you can get the idea. It's just kind of tricky.
Yep. And then I just tighten it up, and it's like it holds everything nicely, and it's not too like constricting. I like it.
To Philip, who is asking me, how is Junk Shop? They are fantastic. They are asleep right now because with just the help of the first day, we had 2 people helping us. We originally had like 6 people who were going to come help, but then our moving date got changed. And so 5 of those people couldn't show up because they had to work or they were out of state. So we had our ungodson and our Junk Shop's best friend, and they helped us, and we got a lot done that first day. But then the rest of it we had to do with pretty much just us, and then also our ungodson came out several times and helped us. And honestly, without that 18-year-old, this kid, I swear, he's 98 pounds soaking wet, and he can lift shit that I can't lift. And I've got arms like a Berlin butcher's wife. I don't understand, but I don't care because there's stuff that we literally could not have moved if he hadn't been here. So love you, Jasper. If you ever see this, you're amazing. But fuck, like it was hard. And then the rest of the time it was just the 2 of us, and it was a lot. So Junk Shop went to bed early tonight because they were tired, and that is fine. I'm actually a little manic tonight. I had a weird medication mishap. Y'all know I don't mind talking about this shit. I'm bipolar. I take a mood stabilizer, but there was a miscommunication between my psychiatrist and my pharmacy. So I couldn't get my mood stabilizer for 2 days. So I've had it today, but the previous 2 days before I didn't have it. And so I'm a little manic. I might be talking kind of fast. So if I get obnoxious, please feel free to cut me off. I won't be able to tell myself. So that's why I'm letting y'all know. Yeah.
It's okay. I haven't been able to sleep because of the election.
Oh, fuck, right? I mean, initially I could because we were moving and I was just physically exhausted. And now I'm like, but I think it's okay now. Is it okay? I don't know.
Oh, it's better. I live by a place where they launch all the sheriffs, so I'm constantly hearing sirens. I live by the freeway, so it's just I hear helicopters. So it's really. I've been on pins and needles the past 2 days.
Yeah, on tenterhooks. Us too.
It's actually amazing it's not going off right now.
I don't think for me personally, just because of how things have been, I don't think I'm going to feel completely relieved until Biden is actually physically in the White House.
Yeah,
I understand why a lot of people are celebrating, and I've tried not to say too much because I don't want to rain on people's parades, especially with how shitty things have been.
I'm cynical though, so I get it. I'm cynical.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I'm like, I want to see Biden in the White House before I celebrate. Then I'll celebrate, and then I'll go back to going out and swinging.
It's a big enough margin now that I don't think they can stop it.
There's no way. There is no legal way that
one
Trump can win.
One more little kick to Trump is if Georgia's decided for Biden, that would give him 306 electoral votes, which would beat Trump because in 2016 he only had 304.
Yeah.
Which is also amazing. Did you guys ever think you'd see Georgia turn blue in your lifetime? Because I sure as shit didn't. My daddy's from there.
So is mine.
Yeah, see? I did not
For once,
think...
I'm going. For once, I'm just
so
glad
happy.
Florida's not the brunt of the joke anymore.
Oh, right?
Yeah,
Honestly,
like-
but I'm like Stacey Abrams and fucking Black Non-Believers and everybody in Atlanta. Like, these are the people that made this shit happen.
Yeah, like
And Mama
I was-
Atheist,
I
shout out. Like,
surprised.
everybody who voted, blue in Georgia, you're amazing.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I was really, really surprised because I was like in the background going, if y'all thought the hanging Chad thing was bad, just wait until Florida's fuckery. But Florida did something really smart this time around. They fucking counted the mail-in ballots as they came in. And
Yes, they did. No,
So-
she's right.
like,
She's right because there are
ballot-
states that won't do that until like the day, like till election day. They won't open any.
There
Yeah,
are
but-
some states that their election laws won't allow them to open them before election day.
but
Yes,
Florida
what
was
Purple
like,
said.
no, we're not going to do this shit anymore. When
I'm
we
really
get it,
struggling
it
here. I'm struggling because you ladies have all got your stupid nitty things out.
Oh no, we're not doing that anymore. We're on politics now.
Oh, you've
It's okay.
moved on?
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Mm.
Just been downstairs to get my big thing out.
What are you doing?
And I can't fit the damn thing on the camera because it's so fucking big.
I know how that is. I know how that is.
Now I have
I'm
to
out
know
of
what it
breath.
is.
I'm literally out of breath. It's big, it's heavy. I hate you all.
Oh, what
Oh, no,
have you
no,
been
no.
making?
Show
No,
us,
wait,
show us.
we need to see
You
it now.
can't
What have
you
you been
don't know
making?
me yet.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not-
also I
don't
have to
make
know.
things and it won't fit on the camera because it,
Can
literally
you
it's
describe it
massive.
with words?
It's massive and it's fucking heavy.
I get that it's massive and fucking heavy. That's
Well,
adorable.
can't you show
but
like part
can
of it
you,
and pan around?
or
No,
can you
I
just
literally
describe with
cannot do
words?
that on a shitty webcam.
What?
But it's fucking huge. It's like the biggest thing in the fucking world. It's fucking huge.
Is that a video camera from the 1980s? What is that?
No, fuck off, you dick.
I have
Piss
It's
off.
a dick, I promise. I couldn't tell. I'm
Fucking
so
80s.
sorry. I'm so sorry. That's what it looked like for a second. Please show it again,
Okay.
please.
flash
I'm
it. I
sorry.
want to see it now, Stool.
No. No, because purple's maybe big, so I don't know who's talking.
No,
now.
you're fine. We love you, and
Please.
we bonded. Come on,
I
please.
made you big because everybody wants to see
I'll
it
give you
better.
my kind voice. How about that? Why don't you flash what you got, big boy?
Ooh,
Oh,
that worked on me. I don't know what it did for anyone else, but I'm in a happy place. Oh, I love your Star Wars Christmas sweater. That's amazing. I
Yes.
can't believe I just noticed that.
it won't fit onto this tiny webcam.
I understand. Okay, it's definitely not a camcorder. I'm so sorry that I said that.
So I have the. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Cool. I like.
What can I say? I'm a big boy.
Okay, I'll admit it. Yours is
Yep,
bigger.
you are. That's large. I admire that.
Mhm.
I mean, you saw how hard it was for me to get that dragon on camera. I'm on my tablet. I'm trying to get it on the screen.
So you can piss off with your sewing.
I'm sorry, just so many things. I did, yeah. Mm.
This might be
Hey,
the
what's
first time I
up?
hear a person of color say this, but I have a smaller version of that over there.
Very cool and also weird, yes, but very cool. I'm teasing.
You know
It's
what?
such a I'm
That's why
sorry.
I
It's such a
put,
stereotype.
Technosexual on my Twitter bio because I had to let everybody know that I hoard technology.
Nice.
Small is not always good.
Well, and there's something to be said. Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking now and pour myself a glass of wine because I don't need to.
Yay!
There are some things I don't need to say. Microraptor, I love you.
All right,
You are
so back to
amazing.
politics to completely.
Can we get back to politics,
I'm
please?
glad that everybody can see now that the state of Nevada cannot count, and we need to send educators there and people. I
We
have
said
a compulsive gambling habit, and I can afford to do it. every other weekend before COVID, I used to go to Las Vegas obsessively.
Mm-hmm.
No one
I'm
will
so
ruin
sorry.
your reservations.
I'm in bed. Ignore me.
You're
Call
fine.
someone from Vegas. So
Two of my best friends live in Vegas, and they're both teachers, and they're awesome teachers. One's an art teacher and one's a special ed teacher. They're married, and they kick fucking ass. And it's like, I'm like, I tried. We sent two of our best there. we tried, but apparently they didn't. They couldn't volunteer.
I honestly wonder if Nevada was, because Nevada is very contested territory in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I've been trying to learn how to say Nevada. I can't do it.
I say Nevada.
It goes either way.
It's almost like Nevada was like, nope, not fucking it. We're gonna wait for somebody else to finish.
Seriously,
because the moment Pennsylvania called it, Nevada was like, hey, let's turn everything in right now.
Oh my god! Oh,
well,
guys.
no, somebody on Twitter mentioned what I think is the best explanation for Nevada being so slow was that some of the bookies were caught off guard, so they had to delay the counting until they had enough liquid assets to pay everyone off.
I'm not saying that Nevada's corrupt, but they're corrupt.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean, we should fix it, obviously, but I don't know how. So I got a COVID test today.
Oh my!
Yay.
Yeah, it was quite uncomfortable. I went to the doctor for because I was afraid that Nevada envy. I read it as New Vegas fair. We go to the doctor and Junk Shop drives me because my feet and my ankles are hideously swollen. And they don't look like my feet and my ankles. And I was scared. I thought my mom's really prone to cellulitis. And I was like, do I have cellulitis in both feet at the same time? That's the part I didn't really think about. Because if you think about that, no. Because cellulitis is a infection of the soft tissue from an injury. And unless you manage to injure both feet and ankles at the exact same time, you're not going to have cellulitis in both at the same time. So, but, I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. So I freaked out. And so we go to the doctor, we go to the minor med, and the doctor comes to the car and he's like, okay. And he's all in PPE, right? Because I admitted to having a cough because we moved and I'm allergic to dust.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I have a cough, but I'm pretty sure it's just dust. And they were like, okay, well, we can't let you in because you have a cough. But if you drive around back, the doctor will come to your car. I was like, fine, I respect that. So we're all wearing masks, all that. And so he comes back and he's like, okay, you're wearing blue jeans. How am I going to see your feet? And I just levied my foot up onto the dashboard and did one and then the other. And he was like, okay, you're fine. You wouldn't have cellulitis in both feet because that's an infection. And we said it together, infection of the soft tissue. I was like, yep, you're right. I didn't think about that. What happened in two different. Yep, you're right. Anyway, so I told him, we've been moving and I've been doing a lot more activity than normal. And he said, hey, it's just something that happens as you get older. I'm like, oh, the 40s just keep bringing more surprises. It's
I'm 36.
Fantastic.
Don't even start.
Oh Lord, honey, I'm 42. Just wait. So this
I'm fat already, and I know things are going to come because I'm fat, and I'm already getting things. But I can't even imagine as soon as I hit my 40s.
It's weird. Like 40 was fine. 42, all fat. Kinds of weirdness. Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah. So the point is, he was super sweet, but he was like, hey, you've been coughing. We should test you for COVID. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure it's allergies, but yes, let's do it. Because again, hypochondriac. Like, yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. I wanted to at least know I don't have it, if anything else. And he had to try both nostrils because that's how fucked up my sinuses are. It was so uncomfortable. And he was so sweet. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine. I'm not crying. He's like, yeah, that will make your eyes tear up. I'm like, yeah, because you're sticking the swab way the fuck up my nostril, but it's fine.
And it's like, you're going to touch my brain.
I thought that, actually. And I said that to Junk Shop. I was like, how about Egyptian mummification? He was like, Junk Shop was like, stop right now. You're hitting, you're going over the Yeah, stop. And I was like, you're right. I'll stop.
Well, now
Anyway,
I
it was
can't-
very. I'll find out next week for sure if I'm negative.
Well, now
or
I can't help but
positive.
think of like that episode from Family Guy where Chris could stick his finger all the way up into his brain, then he goes, "Oh, now I don't know math."
Right? Oh God! And you know it's not true, but at the same time, it's like,
Yeah, I've had chronic sinus problems all my life.
Mhm.
So to check it a few years ago, they actually shoved a camera all the way up into my sinuses.
Oh, honey. I mean,
Yeah, because I was
Purple,
having
I'm so
too many
sorry.
infections, and they wanted to see if there was anything else going on in there.
Oh goodness.
Have you
Okay.
had a lot of nosebleeds?
It's been better now for the last year or so, but just for a
You ever had
period
to have your
there,
nose
it was really bad.
cauterized?
Well,
I had my
mostly
nose cauterized. Ugh.
Yeah. No, it was just that my allergies were really bad just because of the. I was doing landscaping work, which obviously wasn't good for them.
As I'm smoking, I'm a born asthmatic.
Me too.
So I avoid people. Like I have a lower immune system, so this entire time I've had to stay away from everybody, just in general.
Yeah,
And COVID test. I've gotten a few COVID tests because I'm a hypochondriac as well. If someone gets a cold, I'll catch it. But it goes straight.
Oh, I know.
It goes.
Well, I
straight
have to keep taking my temperature because that's the only symptom I wouldn't normally have with my allergies.
Well, and that's the other thing is I had a very, very low grade fever of 99. But the thing is, what that doctor didn't know is I have a slow metabolism and I run a little low. So my normal temperature is not 98.6. It's more like 97.8. So if I'm running 99, that's like I actually have a fever. So when I saw that, when you put the thing on my finger and I saw my temperature, I was like, actually, I'm glad you're doing this because I need to know if this is actually a thing or if I'm just getting a sinus infection because we moved and dug up all the dust.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What kind of voice training is that, Microraptor?
Oh shit! Seriously?
Stick a camera down your throat, and they film your vocal cords.
Fuck! I had scarlet fever as a kid. When I realized I couldn't make it to Broadway, I bought a pack of cigarettes. That's
on
that's
YouTube,
scary shit.
I was
Right
about
there.
to say I've had a high voice for a long time.
On YouTube, I saw somebody doing this with putting a camera down to their larynx. It was a video on transgender feminizing their voice.
Oh, okay. I feel bad for the reaction. I just don't want to necessarily watch, but yay, good for them. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's like you have to overcome your gag reflex.
Oh Lord, no.
That assumes you have one to start with.
Fair, very fair.
If
you don't, you're lucky.
A very high voice, and
no, if you don't, your boyfriend is lucky.
I hate having a very high voice because I can never sing in the operas anymore. I want to sing in Cats.
Aww.
But my voice is too high.
Better than that movie they put.
I like your voice. I'm sorry. What happened? Someone got I think we all were talking at once and then we all stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about the abomination of the Cats movie.
Agreed. I will not know. I can't have my last a memory of Judi Dench as that in that. I won't watch it.
Yeah.
When I was in
Excuse me while I
I couldn't watch the new version of Cats. It was just it was bad in too many different ways.
I avoided the new version because I was just like, no. I grew up on the PBS version, which was really good. Which was a really good production. My mom had the cassette tape, and we listened to it on trips. So there was like a bit of nostalgia there for me.
Yeah,
and I try to give new versions sometimes a chance, but I was like, Cats is fucking weird in the first place.
Yeah, it is weird.
This as a fan. I say this as a fan. Cat is fucking weird in the first place. And I saw trailers and I was like, why did they go for weird?
Hey, Doc.
They just could have fucking left it alone.
Scary. They went for scary.
They did. And it was so strange. And I mean, I've seen Cats at the Orpheum here in Memphis, which is, I know, Memphis, Tennessee is known for lots of different things, but Broadway shows do come through here and they play at the Orpheum downtown. And but I saw it as a freshman in high school when I was 14. Now, when you're like a 14-year-old kid, Cats is awesome. Like, you know, it's oh my God, Cats. I was like, especially me
It's
as
colorful. They're
14-year-old
moving
girl.
around. They're in cat suits. Oh,
It's amazing. They're coming to the audience. What? It's amazing, right? Well, then you grow up. and it's like what you were saying, like about there's some nostalgia for a little bit of it, but otherwise I'm just like, there's some Sweeney Todd is so much better. Like I can't, you know.
Yeah, like, well, and the thing is that was something that my mom and I bonded over.
Oh, that's sweet.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's nostalgia, but I fully fucking admit that is a weird ass show. There's no need to make it weirder in the goddamn new movie.
Thank you.
Hey, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that's weird, but in a good way.
Yeah.
So good.
Hey, Tim Curry was amazing.
Tim Curry can wear a corset better than I can.
He's
really good.
As long as they don't do a remake on that one, I'm okay.
They may never.
No. I honestly, if I see something like that, I won't even watch it.
It does not exist in my universe.
I watch all the new Star Trek. I watch all the new Star Trek.
I understand that.
Me too. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with that, but I'm not okay with no.
A seriously underrated animated movie. You should see Fern. You should see Fern Gully.
Oh, Fern Gully!
Robin Williams and Tim Curry singing.
Yeah, Tim Curry sings he's like the oil, the sludge, the pollution, and then
the thing with that though is it is difficult to name a 90s movie or TV show that doesn't have Tim Curry in it.
Fair, including some really bad ones.
Yeah. Like,
yes. Tim Curry does say trans rights. Yes. Yes.
Tim Curry's actually a jewel. I have basically just from here on out, I basically assume that a celebrity is an asshole until proven otherwise.
I've been let down by quite a few people lately.
Statistically a safe assumption.
I mean, I've been disappointed by so many people. Like, it's just, I don't even anymore.
I try not to learn about the personal lives of any actor or actress I like. Because
I watched a lot of bad television, and most of those actors are evangelical Christians. Like, I watch a lot of bad TV. So if anyone tells me Richard Dean Anderson is a evangelical Christian, I'm out of here.
He's actually sick. Like, he's one of the quieter ones as far as I can tell. Like, he doesn't tell you what his political opinions or anything are.
I grew up watching Growing Pains and like Hercules and Princess Xena Warrior, and like I love cheesy television. You know,
television is awesome. Cheesy is the most best television ever. Sometimes,
can be.
I agree with Sewing that Xena was so fucking
Xena
awesome.
Was amazing.
I agree with you both.
This is not simply because I liked her thighs.
But Lucy Lawless's thighs are a thing of beauty.
Well,
here's the thing. I'm going to have to rewind what you've been talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tim Curry might be dead.
No.
He's just wheelchair bound.
I was trying not to Google Tim Curry.
Fuck.
He still does voice work.
Here's the thing.
He actually does cons still. It's very limited. But here's how he does his cons now: is he doesn't sign anything because he can't like hold the paper afterwards.
Oh dear, what does he have?
He got a stroke. That's why.
Oh, that's right. He did. He had a bad stroke.
When he goes to cons, you pay the autograph fee for him, but you actually can take a selfie. You can also pay the photograph fee, which is generally like way overpriced. But if you want a professional picture with him, you can do that. He doesn't sign portraits anymore, but if you like want to take your phone and like take a camera and just take a quick selfie with him, you can do that instead of an autograph, and that's how he's been doing cons.
Okay. And really quickly, I want to demonstrate earlier in Beelzebub stream, we talked about you actually, Tria, you described perfectly the two of the forms of the Southern bless your heart. The third one, there is a third one. And the third one is, oh, that's fucking terrible, bless his heart. And then that's what it is literally like I hate that happened. Whatever.
Yeah.
And that is a thing.
People
so,
are
there's the tiny fuck you one. There's the oh wow, you're too stupid to know what you're saying. Bless your heart.
Bless your heart, my dear.
Yeah, and then there's the oh bless his heart, he has cancer. You know that's the one. The one that's good. I just want to.
Everybody is familiar with the fuck you, bless your heart. They don't pick up on the other two very often.
And you're absolutely right. It's all about tone. It's all about tone and context. Yeah.
Yes. At church, you do something and be like, "Oh dear, bless your little heart."
In California, people are insincere in general. They'll say, "I'm so sorry." When you hear "I'm so sorry," you're either getting towed or arrested, or something's going on, and someone will look at you and be like, "I'm so sorry," which basically means shut up. I'm gonna do whatever I want anyway.
Damn. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
I actually I went to the South, and I was in my 20s, and one of the crazy experiences I had, I was with a friend of mine, and they asked us what part of England we were from. and so because I watched way too much television, I looked this person in the eye and I said, "I'm a temp from Chiswick." Because I watch way too much Doctor Who. Because
Did you say it just in that voice though, like in that accent that you just used?
This is the only accent I have. It's my Southern California twang.
So you weren't even like, "I'm a temp."
We were off the 10 freeway. We were deep, like being from Southern California, like we were deep in the South where we were like almost scared to get out of the car. Like, when you get Alabama, like that's scary to people like me. We're like. You
almost heard the banjos.
Dude, I
have a banjo right here. Banjos don't offend me. It's the people that play them that scare me.
Yes, I'm so fucking light, and I've gone through parts of the South where I was like, I'm not leaving this car. I'm not letting the sun set on me here. There's nothing but blonde people and Confederate flags over there.
When people from the UK say America, like because I watch a lot of YouTube, and I hear people say all the time, like, "Oh, in America is huge. It's literally 3,000 miles long, and we are different countries. We are different.
And the thing is like I joke about Florida being two different countries, and it is because like you go down south and you get more like suburban areas and like multicultural, and like it's very, very diverse. You come up here where I live in Jacksonville, and like there's a bit of diversity, but it's not to the same level. And where I live, it's like it's not even a big fucking city. People act like it's still like dairy farms and cowboys on my side of town.
Florida is unique in the way it was colonized and developed because, most of the U.S., it was just the English came here and took it from the Indians. Florida, we waited for the Spanish to take it from the Indians, and then we took it from the Spanish.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right, my English friend. My people were kicked out of Scotland for rebelling against your people, and that's how we got here. On my mom's side, anyway. So I know it's not your fault.
Don't even go there. That's not how it worked. So.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's what happened. That's how the Robertsons got here.
Go away with your false.
I got
Florida man embodies all of Florida.
Okay, you know what? Actually, oh my god, that's lovely. Actually, they're right. You're right. He's right, because I'm, like anybody born in the States, I'm a great American mutt, man. I got so many different things. It's a fucking miracle. I'm even, for lack of a better word, miracle I even exist.
In my family lineage, I literally have on my dad's side, they were quite literally slaves, and on my mom's side, they were slave owners.
Oh,
So
yeah.
It's one of those harsh realities, you know.
It happens a lot. One of my great grandfathers on my dad's side was a slave owner because he owned a plantation, and that's what like when you find that you find that in the genealogy and it says planter in Georgia, like you fucking know what that is, right? It's like okay, this person owned other people like they were as possessions, which is disgusting, and then so.
I got DNA tests with this family, and they it was shocking. It was actually shocking. I had 30 family members that fought in the Civil War, and 27 of them fought for the Confederacy.
God damn
it! They were black. They were black people. It wasn't like these were white people. And
this happened though.
But we twist history and we tell ourselves stories, and we it's the stories we tell ourselves. History is a lot more intricate than something we read in a book. It
is. You're absolutely right. And like something that fiddlesticks, I can't think of her name right now, but a lady who is on secular sexuality a lot likes to say that people are made of stories, and that really resonates with me. And it's very true. It goes back to exactly what you're saying, and you're right. Like it's so fucked up when you think about the oppression of slavery and the horrors, all the horrors of it. But then there were black people who were like, these people are invading my land. They're invading our land, or they're invading, it's fucked up. It's like this weird, I don't know. I don't even know if I should speak to it or can speak to it, but I just know that it happened and it's weird. And we should have had more. And there was like one Union black battalion maybe in the Civil War. Was there?
There was a few, but it's kind of like World War II, where they were used more to clean up and to walk behind, kind of thing.
Oh my God! And without the Red Wings in World War II, and without the Native American windtalkers, we would have lost that. Well, I don't know.
But as long as we remember that history and we don't act like Lawrence Fox and forget our history and who saved our butts, then it's okay. As long as we remember these people, we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I knew you were going to turn your head, Sewell.
Well, because I imagine he's thinking of Alex Turing right now.
No, there's this guy in the UK who doesn't know his own history, and I
know my fucking history.
Oh, he does.
No, I'm not talking about Sewell.
I'm just keeping my mouth shut because you know what bugs me? I hate it, and I mean no offense to you lovely people, but I hate it when Americans say, "Oh, I've got Irish. Oh, I'm Scottish."
Oh, don't even get me started.
You haven't. You don't know the first thing about it, so
no, it's fair. It's fair. You're right. I've only been to one of the mother countries once, and it was for 5 days. So you're fair.
You
That's
haven't
fair.
got a clue. And so what we do now, this is now an English tradition. When I argue with you, you now come back to me, and then we now dress up as Tim Curry. As a transvestite.
Oh no!
Okay.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Purple. Let's go.
Don't threaten me with a good time. That was amazing.
You don't know what I'm wearing under this.
I'll fucking do it.
Oh wait, we're gonna get a copyright.
I have no idea what I'm wearing underneath it.
All right, we have to stop. I'm sorry.
I have to do the voice.
I'm a bit closer to the ancestral countries because none of my family was here before 1904. So I at least sat and visited with the people who came over.
Oh, that's cool. That is incredibly cool. Like my grandpa on my mom's side was first generation born in America, and he was born in America. Sorry, drunk. And he was born in 1911, and his parents immigrated from Germany in the 1800s. I don't know exactly when.
I'm
my
generation.
brother. Yeah, my brother, my sister, and my two brothers and my sister remember our great grandparents. I don't because they died before I was born. But yeah,
Go
ahead.
I'm I'm Roman.
You're Roman. Yeah, fair.
Get a blood. I would say get a blood test.
If we're
You're
gonna
Roman
go
over
back
here and Roman over there. Bad joke. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Oh.
What did I ever do for you?
Yeah,
That's a really
fair,
cool joke.
Microraptor.
So because
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've
I have
heard
a
that
picture.
claim, and yeah.
So to take kind of
It's like if I don't say it, I'll forget about it.
I want to show a trippy picture of my grandfather.
Yes, please.
I had the fortunate happenstance of having to go through his house and like everything after he passed and my grandma passed. And my grandfather, he was a really cool guy. And I found a ton of pictures, but this is one of the most infamous. That's my grandfather. That's not my grandfather. That's O.J. Simpson.
Okay, I was about to say. I think I know who
And
that-
that's my grandfather.
Oh wait,
I have no idea who that guy is.
Holy shit!
Oh,
That's
yeah.
your granddad with O.J. Simpson.
Holy shit!
Every
He was handsome too.
every person on my mom's side looks like that. It's eerie.
Well, yeah, fair. I mean, but still.
There's another picture of him with Bob Hope in here somewhere. But he was an avid golfer. And there's a bunch of pictures of people, but like
That was my question. Like, what did he do that he was meeting people like that?
He was a real life leatherhead. He's a coach right there.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, there he is.
He was because of my grandfather was born in Mexico, but because he fought in World War II, he was given citizenship.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people got citizenship, and then sadly some didn't. Which is
I
fucked
never
up.
realized the extent of how hardcore World War II had really hit him until he lived to be, I want to say, 88, and he had Parkinson's and his medicines had mixed, and he was a giant dude, and my cousin and I, we had to carry him upstairs, and he was hallucinating, and he started struggling, and he looked at my cousin and I in our eyes, and he was like, "Get off of me, you Nazis," because he was there at D-Day. He had jumped, and he was the nicest man. He never talked about anything ever, but after World War II, he never flew in a plane again. Ever again. My grandma around the world.
They don't talk unless it's to other. I'm sorry, I'm generalizing here, but my
father
dad
was a World War II vet, and he
my
never
dad was
told
a
us
Korean
about
vet.
what happened over there.
Yeah, and my brother
dad,
was a Desert Storm vet, and they don't talk about it unless it's with other vets.
My
That's
father,
been my experience.
Most of what I know about my father's service in World War II is because in Metz, France, there is a museum dedicated to his division.
Oh my gosh!
And I've learned more from that museum.
Awesome.
I've learned more on the internet from that museum than he has ever told me about what happened.
Some just don't want to talk about it.
Hey, School, did you ever any of your? I mean, where were y'all when? Where was your family during World War II with the Blitz and everything? That had to be terrifying. Unless you don't want to talk about it, in which case that's fine.
I have no clue, to be honest. I know my dad's dad was in a war, and when my dad was young, he was born in 1945. When his dad came home from that war, like his dad was screwed up, constantly drinking, and he would have the night terrors, and like sometimes wouldn't even recognize my dad or his brother and sister, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And my dad said it was like a hell, just kind of living at home.
My dad to this day, he's 78 now. He fought in Korea, and it used to be a lot worse. Or because I'm the youngest by quite a bit. I was a surprise, as my parents generously said. But they had the older three, like they actually saw like some of my dad's PTSD in action, like where it was bad. And my dad has since, like, he's regretted a lot about that, but they didn't know, they didn't know what it was. They didn't even call it shell shock at that point. They were just like, whatever, toughen up, get through it. And if he's gotten over everything, except the one thing you don't do to my father, even now at 78 years old, is wake him from a dead sleep aggressively in any way. You don't stand over him. You don't grab his arm. You don't. And as a joke, one night, he'd fallen asleep in his easy chair, and my mom asked my nephew, his grandson, to wake him up so he could go to bed. And Logan thought it would be funny if he like scared Grandpa, and he went in and was like, "Hey!" and like grabbed him, and my dad's hand was instantly around his own grandson's neck. And
no.
Yeah, and he managed to stop himself. And my nephew was an adult at this point, so he wasn't a small child. He wasn't like scarred for life by this or anything. But and then my dad realized what was happening. He stopped himself, and he said, "Boy, you can't do that. You can't do that to me. It's not safe." And then he went to bed. That was it.
Yeah, you don't do that to anyone who's had military training.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly. Yeah,
I found,
they are trained to kill.
They are. Yeah. Oh my gosh! Look at this handsome guy. Look at that handsome guy. What's going on? What is up with that?
And I found this one too. Bob Hope is in the middle.
Oh hell yeah! Yes, he is. Oh my goodness!
Awesome.
That is so cool.
My grandfather was an avid golfer, and he was the first Hispanic principal in LA County. So that gained him some celebrity, and people, people wanted him around.
I'm sorry, you pulled this up just a second ago. Oh no, you're amazing. You are amazing, God bless going. I just wanted to say to Renee in me, that's amazing. That is a huge sacrifice, and I don't know how your dad did that, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and Vibrant Brantley here is saying about talking to homeless people.
Yeah.
Seriously, even you'll hear Iraqi veterans. You'll hear stories from Iraqi veterans on the streets nowadays.
When I lived in St. Paul, when I was waiting for the bus, there was a homeless guy who lived along the street there who was a Vietnam vet. Didn't say a whole lot about what happened to him over there, just that he was afraid to sleep indoors. So he was, technically homeless by choice, but that's not really a choice at that point.
No, it's not.
But I wound up talking to him quite a bit just because he'd come up and start talking to me when I was waiting for the bus. And sometimes that was, half-hour conversations a couple times a week.
There were a couple of guys that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I could go on all night. My dad was a Vietnam vet.
We all could. I was just going to say there were a couple of guys when I was in college, older men, much older men who'd been in Vietnam that I regularly gave coffee or cigarette money to back in the 90s. He fought from D-Day to the Battle of the Bulge. Holy shit. My spouse's grandfather fought in the Battle of the Bulge. And we only know that because of artifacts that were passed down. He never said anything about it other than I was a mechanic until he died. But it turned out he was a tank driver under patent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My dad was a Vietnam vet, and he, being from the South, he joined when he was 17 because he was just poor. Yeah. And he said when he joined the military, it was the first time that he was around people of, he was from Savannah, Georgia. So it was the first time he was around, he said it was all just poor people. Yeah. They weren't white, they weren't black. They're all just poor kids from the South.
Yeah, that was my dad was from Savannah. Yeah.
So it was one of those, my dad, he was a really outgoing guy. He was the definition of the life of the party. But I still to this day, it was a cover of all the things that he saw in Vietnam. He had a bayonet scar across his chest. The only reason he came home was because the bomb went off. He had a scar right here. As long as he died January 1st of this year. He died at 80. He lived a long life. And he drank every night. He was a sailor. He lived life to the fullest. He was one of those people every day. He lived like a Roman. He was one of those people his saying was, "I'm going to die from something I ate, drank, or smoked." And it was a combination of all three.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he died, But the Vietnam veteran era guys, they were different because they were as far as for this era, they were the first people that were walking, talking PTSD. We were around people that, so it was It was intense. It was
Hey,
intense.
can I just say, can we toast your dad real quick? I'm
Definitely.
sorry, like to your dad.
In a real way, he would have loved this. He would have absolutely. He half of the like he's the one that got me into the job I have. He's the one that got me into picking. He's the one that got me into hoarding. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Didn't you say that he was like the one who like was it
taught
got
me
you
how to
into
sew.
sewing? Okay, yeah, I thought
He
so.
taught me how to sew. He
Mhm.
he was definitely a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And my daddy joined the service because he was poor and he had ADHD before they knew what that was, and he couldn't get into college, and so he graduated from high school and signed right up.
I talk a lot of trash about the military, but
Yeah.
my dad he was an electrical engineer and he worked for Rocketdyne and NASA in the 80s.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, my dad worked for the FAA.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he
my
went
dad
to
was
Korea
a
with
crazy
stuff,
vet.
but
He was a crazy Vietnam vet, but he was an engineer, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, my dad too. Like had all these issues, but then he comes back. He and not all. I'm sorry. He had PTSD, but but like I said, by the time I came along, it was pretty much done. But he worked for the FAA for over 30 years with nothing but a high school diploma. Like that shit doesn't happen now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I want to say that people were more tough back then, but it's just, you know, I think we're much more aware of each other.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Because what our dads did that they shouldn't have had to do is they had to suffer through that and fix it themselves. They didn't have any help. And that's unfortunate because, you know, I remember one moment, and like I said, I was the youngest by a long shot, and I got the best of my parents, like having experience with kids and you know, so my older siblings have issues I never had. And so like I remember my dad, my brother, after his divorce, he was living with us. I was in high school. And I was the only kid left at home by a fucking long shot. And the two boys were there, and my brother started yelling at one of his kids. And my dad stopped him. And he said, Don't be like me. Don't do that. And it was a chilling moment for me because I did grow up around yelling people, but I didn't realize like how much of it, you know, my brother had been there for the hard part of it, and I wasn't. I was there for like, you know, listening to mom and dad fight while I was in my, you know, sleeping with my sister in our room, and it didn't affect me. You know, my dad was never harsh on me. So yeah. Sorry, drunk. I'm done.
No, I think that generation, they were a little bit more grizzled because my pop's like, I could tell him anything and he wouldn't even react, you know.
Oh yeah.
You don't make him like that anymore. He was a man's man and he didn't care. Like no matter who you were, what you were, what your sexuality was.
Shit.
I think it was the name. He'd been around the world twice, you know. He'd always tell me there's I haven't seen, you know.
Yeah, my dad, it took him a long time to be. Oh, I'm sorry.
What you talk, outsider coming in.
No, you're fine. Please talk.
Outsider coming in. Open up. Let me in.
Absolutely.
Open wide.
Okay, that got weird.
I actually enjoyed listening to that, especially sewing story. That was a really nice story, sewing.
Yeah.
He was a good man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you know, I knew a lot of people that weren't from his generation.
Yeah, fair.
The thing that I'm going to give to you now is there's a difference between cultures and countries, because your country is, as I've said to Julie, like 2 years old.
Of course.
Ours is a million years old. So we haven't got that thing.
I understand.
And we haven't got this, no offense, my friend, no offense whatsoever, but we haven't got this worship for military people.
No, that's fair, yeah.
It's all, you know, that's funny you bring that up, because when I I want to say 15 years ago, when I let go of all of my religion and everything, I let go of my military worship too. You know, because I grew up with hero worship because since I want to say since the Civil War, my cousin and I are probably the only two people that have not served in a war in my family. And I have a huge family. Like when I say huge, I have like just in this town.
How many
like
first cousins?
20 just in this town.
Yes, there we go. Yeah, I knew it.
Moving back to my hometown though. So what I'm saying is like our culture is war. Like the American culture is making money. It's war. Like so, I bought into that, and it's hard. I was raised Roman Catholic.
Me too.
It took me a long time to. I still stumble with the indoctrination. Still to this day, there's like I'll catch myself in actions and certain things.
I'm not going to disrespect your.
Please do.
No,
America,
I'm not going to do that.
The greatest place.
No, I'm absolutely not going to do that because he did what he needed to do. But more importantly, he did what he was told to do.
Oh, very much
so. Very much so, yeah.
Let's not think that this was brave people doing something.
The ugly truth is that
they had no choice. There was an ugly truth.
He joined the military because he didn't want to be like the people he saw in his town.
I like the words that you just used there, Sewing. Ugly truth.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is. My grandpa. Fuck me. No. My father joined the military because he thought he had no other choice.
Exactly. My father said the same thing.
He was poor. He was a child of a single mom. He in the 50s.
I'll tell you, my father, like his greatest. He would when he was on oxygen towards the end of his life, he would say it over and over. And I'm not saying this to be mean.
No, it's fine.
He was happy he didn't die poor, because my dad grew up on 40 acres and a mule land. He grew up in a place that was given to Black people by grant during the Civil. Is it grant?
Did that actually happen? I thought I thought one of the.
I could tell you the plot. I can tell you where he grew up.
That's amazing.
My whole point is, so my dad was just happy he didn't die like everybody else he knew, because everybody else he knew, and because of the miracle of health insurance, he lived way longer than he should have.
Yeah,
you know.
No, fair.
So it's not one of America. They dangle. Like honestly, me sitting in this house, it's like the Hunger Games, because 15 years ago, I was broke. I was distraught. My life was crap. And flash forward to now, I sit here sometimes and I'm like, wow, like I've really come far. But I sit here and I'm like, America's really effed up, you know?
Yeah, it is. I want to speak to the. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. You know,
because if people don't get help with mental health, or they don't have someone to help them, you know, they're screwed. Like all the time.
Yeah, I can tell you as somebody who definitely needs therapy, and I'm not joking here. I need therapy.
No, we all do. Well, a lot of us do.
And I can't access it because even though I technically fall under the county rules for being able to get free therapy, I have to go to a place that is church run. And as an
all they do is push God on you.
Yeah, and an atheist and a asexual and an aromantic and a woman, going to them is not an option.
Hey, I'm going to send you a DM later, because so many therapists are doing. I have a thing you can do over your computer, and the clinic is in Texas, and they are not. They're in Austin specifically.
Yeah.
And they are not judgy about any of that shit. And
the problem is that I can't pay for any. I can't pay more.
They don't take insurance, but they do. Like if you are like the moment I was laid off and didn't have a job anymore and was on unemployment, they lowered our rate significantly.
Okay.
So I'll just send you the information and you can see.
Usually what happens is they go, oh, yeah, we do discounts. And then I tell them exactly what I need. And they're like, oh, you're special. We're going to have to charge you $70 an hour.
Okay, we're switching subjects here. So
yeah, I'm sorry. I want to say
it's okay. It's okay. Just
I can deal with 2 subjects, but not 3.
Okay.
I do want to say
before we get off the subject, this is a self-promotion, but was relevant to us talking about vets.
Yeah.
So I'm putting a link in the side chat to one of my edited videos, which is a poem I wrote myself, just reflecting on what I knew about my father and about vets in general.
Oh, that's really
so
cool.
just people would go and check that out later.
Absolutely.
I'll make a short little statement, because obviously November the 11th, I don't know whether that's, I think you celebrate that, do you not?
Yep.
Not
yeah, that's Veterans Day here.
Not celebrate, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Observe it.
And that's coming up for us. And in this country, it's really fucking hard work these days, because all the racists have taken over and we've got a whole argument about it and what have you. But I'm again going back to my new friend Sewing's comments about his
dad.
Important thing, because you guys have your Civil War and your Vietnam and all that shit, all that trivial stuff. I'm joking, obviously.
I know you are. We love you.
I hear you. I know you are.
But you know, the most shitty war ever was what we now refer to as World War One.
Yeah, you're right. That was the one that had no moral understanding, no moral underpinning.
That was the shittiest war ever, because that was when we learned how to do war.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
perfected it.
Yeah, perfect. And if y'all want to know, listen to Dan Carlin's World War One. It's like it's a lot of hours, but
we absolutely did not perfect it, because
completely
the number of people who died in that war.
There was a Frenchman who invented the plane, because Americans, we always claim we invented the plane, but there was a French guy. He invented the biplane or whatever, and I'm misquoting, but he said during World War One, when he looked up, he wished he hadn't invented the plane, because we put guns on it. As human beings, he said, "Oh, we can fly now. We can put guns on."
This is very true, and I'm going to amaze you now. Not now, but in a few minutes' time.
First war with guns, last one with cavalry.
Because that fucking war, it didn't just invent industrial death. It created problems that weren't thought about. Most people in that war died from what we're going through now.
Yeah.
Sickness,
Plague.
from the flu. Yeah, the 1918
flu and whatever. And here's a fun fact for you. In I think it was 1914 or 1915, the town where I am sitting in now, in 1914, not World War II, but World War One, was bombed by a Zeppelin.
Crazy.
Jesus, I didn't know they did that.
I have a book on Gerard's dossier. He was our American ambassador to Germany. And in the book, he said, if we don't stop them now, they will do this again.
Fuck, I hate
I gotta find that book.
I hate having to don't go away. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry.
Right,
I need to
face-to-face with
Fun fact, literally a fun fact. It happened about a mile away from me.
I'm gonna look that up.
Wow.
That's
awesome. Dang, that's oof, I can't even imagine.
So how much history has happened by your house? I'm sure you can go back to the Battle of Hastings.
Dude, I'm British. I can go back forever.
I know. Let me get the Roman book.
It's a weird thing because that is literally a true story. It occurred about a mile away from me.
Awesome.
On my granddad's house. So that's a real
What's
thing.
funny is like, sorry. What's funny is like, anywhere here in the U.S., some people can just go digging in their own backyard, and they find actual like war missiles and like active bombs and stuff that from World War II and such that they gotta, get someone to come over and deactivate them. Otherwise, you never know when that shit's gonna blow.
Oh, we still find those.
I actually watch those specials when they in England. I watch a lot of the BBC because I haven't watched American news in 4 years. So I watch a lot of Australian television in the BBC. Actually, in the past, besides, I already watched Blake 7, but during the quarantine, I've discovered all kinds of fun stuff to watch.
Okay. I had to use the restroom and suddenly everything changed, but I'm cool with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm trying not to completely switch the subject.
no, you're fine. You're fine.
I'll give you another. I'll give you another fun fact about unexploded bombs.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, it's just a thing I know about.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy fucker who's in charge of this country.
Oh, you're Boris Johnson, yeah.
No, don't say the fucking word.
I'm sorry. That asshat.
He's making
the country at the moment.
The British Trump.
Except he's smarter than ours. How fucked up is that?
Because of the shit that we're going through, he's making up imaginary things like making a bridge from Scotland to Ireland.
What?
That's not a thing that can ever happen. It's physically impossible. He's now talking about making a tunnel. That's not physically possible. Do you know where the biggest deposit of unexploded fucking bombs is in the fucking world?
Oh, okay. Well, now I can
World
guess.
War II.
I was about to say
Between Scotland and Ireland, the underwater. I mean, I know there's also a ton of landmines that are unexploded from World War I in Europe, but fuck.
Yeah.
Submarine mines are still, I think, around the Pacific. Like sometimes the chains get corroded and they pop up, and you never know when a ship is going to blow up or a whale.
One had to be. Oh wait, where in the U.S. do you find buried active bombs apart from Pearl Harbor? Have there been military bases in the U.S. in the Civil War? There are military bases in the U.S. all over, but they're all ours. They're all the Unions. They're not. There are some like Confederate bases you can go tour as like historical sites
about military battles.
Oh man! Oh, I'm sorry. I read bases. I apologize.
Yep.
Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You can go to Shiloh. You can go to well, like you said, Pearl Harbor. Yeah, there are a lot of Civil War things. We even have, how in the cemetery for all the soldiers, Arlington.
Yeah.
Arlington Cemetery. And they have the tomb of the unknown soldier. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Tomb of the unknown soldier. There is, and if you watch Supernatural, you know about this. This is true. There is a Confederate version of that. There is actually a tomb of the unknown Confederate soldier elsewhere. I think it's in Missouri. I'm not entirely certain, but yeah. So there are a lot of war sites in the U.S.
I think what my corrector was asking about was the idea of there being unexploded bombs in the U.S.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry. No, not that I know of.
Yeah.
No.
I
mean, let's say we had distance and technology. The limit of the technology plus the distance between us and Europe, like the whole Atlantic Ocean, was essentially what kept us safe from that. Now, if things had gone bad, like if, say, Germany or Japan had figured out the atom bomb before we did, things could be a lot different. There could be a lot of unexploded bombs here, but that's not how it worked out historically. So no,
we do have in almost every major American city are nuclear silos.
Yes, and we have air raid sirens that are now used as like weather warning, like tornado or hurricane warning sirens. Yeah, and ours are tested in my town. They're tested every Wednesday at noon. So you hear the air raid sirens go off on Wednesday at noon. Exactly. Yep. What Dragon Queen's doing? Exactly.
When I was in my 20s, I lived in Portland, and they had a tsunami warning. And it's ominous when you hear it. You're like, how far off is that thing?
Yeah. Shelter? What? But if you hear it at any other time other than noon on a Wednesday, that's when you know to put on your shoes and get in the closet because there's a tornado. Get in the closet sounds weird, but like we have a very high water table here. We don't have basements in Memphis because we're right on the Mississippi. So a lot of places don't have basements, so you want to find the most secure place you can be is an inner room, and most of those are closets. So that's why I said
I used to live in Scotland for 12 years, and I lived
where in Scotland?
This is what I'm going. I can't tell you.
I'm sorry.
I used to live next door to a very important place.
Oh, okay.
That was very important in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
So Edinburgh?
It was no, Dick.
No.
It was super important. And also, it was also important in World War II.
Loch Ness!
Oh, motherfucker. Now I'm going to have to find this out. I'm going to have to go like deep dive on the internet, try and figure it out. It's fine. I love you.
Yeah, but
you know that.
Here's the thing. You will never find out. Because if you could find out, it would not be a secret, would it?
Okay, well, here's the thing. I grew up in Paducah, Kentucky. All right? Paducah, Kentucky is a tiny little town in the holla, and it's between, and I'm not making these names up, you can look it up. It's between Monkey's Eyebrow, Kentucky, and Possum Trot, Kentucky. So that's Paducah, Kentucky. Yeah, I'm not kidding. And in my town was the USSR missile target during the Cold War because there was a nuclear power plant right outside of town called Martin Marietta. Period. That's the end of my story.
That map is real.
Thank you.
Basically, to ensure that no one lives. So it's total. So basically, if you have a nuclear silo in your town, Russia has a nuke point.
Russia had it, yeah. So like when I was growing up in the 80s, we knew we were a nuclear target for the USSR.
Yep.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I'm laughing, but I know what you're saying. Because
and it's meant to make you laugh. They're stupid fucking names, but they're real. Paducah is not, though. Paducah was named after a Native American chief whose name was Paducah. Paducah. So
from a different culture.
Exactly. So that's why it sounds weird. It's way better than Possum Trot or Monkey's Eyebrow. I don't even know how the fuck to get those other names. Like, what is that?
So we're in California, we're completely arrogant and a bit cocky. And so when we go to places like that, when I say me, I'm like, who named this?
Seriously,
who let their third cousin name this place?
My friend, I wondered that too.
Be able to do that. I live in California. You have to sign 3 forms just to park a car. You know.
You know what? I would love to see your reaction to some of the place names down here in Florida because we kept a lot of the Spanish names, but the problem and a lot of the Native American names. The problem is that when you get a bunch of Floridians together, you're going to slaughter any language we come across.
I grew
very
up
much.
I grew up like in a very like I want to say 1950s culture because my grandparents were Hispanic. My mom, they spoke Spanish. They were white people, but they spoke Spanish. They really didn't teach it to the because in America, my grandfather would always say, "We're in America. We speak English."
Yes, that's what my grandfather said. The one
Which
from his parents were from Germany.
That's the older generation, you know. They were trying to integrate. That was their goal, was complete integration. Like, my grandfather got away with it because he was a white guy, you know. No one knew he spoke.
Oh, Renee and me. Paducah is a rock from where you live. I know where you fucking live. That's amazing.
Ooh.
It's a really small town. I'm not saying I know exactly where they live, but I have a good idea. I'm sorry, Godless Sewing. Please continue. I
completely forgot what I was going to say.
No, you were talking about how the first generation immigrants don't teach the children the language.
So I've in my 20s I learned to speak Spanish, and then I went to Mexico, and I was in Mexico for a year and a half. Nice. And so when I left Mexico, I spoke Spanish, what I thought was Spanish, you know. But my proximity to California, I didn't realize that not everybody speaks Mexican Spanish. But because English is my first language, I get told all the time, you sound like a white person. All the time. Like even today, every Saturday, my son is with his mom on the weekends, and I go shopping, and I'm so happy to go to my thrift stores, to go, just to get my supplies for sewing and stuff. And there's people, by now they know me, and they know I speak Spanish. And this one woman told me that it's insulting when I speak Spanish to her because I sound like a white person. She speaks English. I asked her, like, why do you? I stupidly asked her, why do you speak English to me? And she told me the truth to my face. She's like, you sound like a white person. It's awful. Okay. I was like, thank you. Bye.
I mean, I do applaud the honesty, but I would hope that on some level she'd appreciate, you trying. Like, well,
it's culture. It's a culture thing. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, the thing is that when you have a disconnect like that, which is essentially what it is, you've been disconnected.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do. It's difficult to do a reconnection with it because, and there's a reason why people take it so fucking seriously now, is you can erase a person's identity by removing them from their culture.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's a very good point, Tria. And it's like, I mean, I had students who I had a student tell me once in a class that whenever she went back to Puerto Rico to visit her, sorry, I totally tried to say that like I'm not white, but I did. Anyway. Yeah, so I grew up Catholic. I knew a lot of Puerto Ricans, okay? So I go up. So she's talking. She's like, whenever we go visit my family in Puerto Rico, they're and I try to speak Spanish to them, like the Spanish that I learned from my parents. They're like, stop speaking Spanglish. It's annoying. and that's what that was her experience. And
I can see that though, because like when I was younger, people would try to talk. They'd come up to me trying to talk to me like a stereotypical black person. And they didn't know I'm from the valley, like, it's a whole different way of life, And I would look at them like, okay,
what?
You're trying really hard to impress me, and I'm not impressed at all,
Trevor has
it depends on where you're from, When I first moved to Oregon, I had this like 2-year conversation with a friend of how speech isn't inherent, like. You could take anybody, put them anywhere, and they will sound and reflect the area in which they're from.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, So I'm not from anybody else except for myself, And it would sound weird if I came out all like trying to talk like somebody that I'm not. It would sound weird,
Well, and for me, it depends because I spent a lot of my time trying to lose my Western Kentucky accent, where I was born in Paducah, which is a very hang on. The best example is I'm gonna wash the does that like every OW turns into and every A turns into AR. For some reason, I don't know why. Anyway, so I was really into like theater as a kid, so I was trying to lose that accent, and then I moved, and then we moved to Memphis, and I caught myself, and I tried not to, but I caught myself picking up, and it's getting thicker as I talk. I can hear it, but I caught a Tennessee accent, And I was like, okay, what the fuck? So my accent when I am just with Junk Shop and we're not on, the internet or doing it, because they exaggerate their accent too. For the stuff we both play kind of exaggerated versions of ourselves on our channels, because it's fun. But yeah, thank you. I felt a little weird about it for a second. I was like, am I peeking? Here's a peek behind the curtain. It's not much curtain, really.
I'm
it's
a grown man who wears denim vests in public with a cowboy hat.
I fucking love your
yourself.
vest with the skull over the is that a skull over a martini glass? Because if it is, it's that's fucking amazing. Okay,
I haven't got my left and rights on the internet yet.
I know it's cameras work weird way. It's like you have to remember. Oh fuck, it's like a mirror. I don't know what's happening. Okay, but yeah. So the second I hear another Southern accent, it's like a connection. It's this weird. I think it's a tribal thing. I think it's something like in our evolution, where you hear an accent that's like one that you have spoken before, and so right now this is I'm trying not to be too Southern, how I normally talk most of the time accent, but the second you get me around serious Southern people, this is how I start to fucking sound, because I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm near Southern people now, so I'm gonna talk like this so they accept me. And I don't do it normally. Just then I had to think about it, but normally I don't consciously do that switch. It just kind of happens.
I never realized how different our accents were until I traveled around this country.
Right? Because you sound perfectly normal to me, but I know that you also sound different than I do. I think.
Well, I usually sound like the Queen.
You said you sound like the Queen?
Usually, but I'm modifying my accent so that you weird people from America land can understand me.
So you're not
I don't think you sound like the Queen at all. You have a very nice accent, and I don't think it's posh in the sense of putting on airs at all. You sound very natural and normal.
No,
I have a question for Stu.
I usually sound like the Queen.
Do you guys really obsess over accents as much as you
dumbing myself down so that you Americans can understand me.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that because I experienced that in Scotland. I noticed that the shop owners slowed that shit way the fuck down so I could understand what they were saying. And the people on the street, at one point it was amazing. I caught 3 words of Scottish Gaelic, and I was like, Joel, Junk Shop. I grabbed my spouse, and I'm like, Junk Shop, did you hear that? That was Gaelic. I know those words, and I was so excited because the normal people who were speaking English, I couldn't understand them at all.
After you have a nicer accent than the Queen.
Yay, Microraptor.
I think Stool has managed to hit a nice balance of being posh without being arrogant.
I like that. I like that good. Because I'll tell you, whenever I hear an extremely arrogant, it's more. No, I don't want to say it. That's mean. Never mind. I won't say it.
I have that a lot.
I gotta go to sleep.
Oh, we love you.
Good night.
It was nice meeting you all.
You too. It's weird to say we love you when we just met. I like you a lot. You seem neat.
Oh, thank you very much. You do too.
Cool.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I like her big pillows.
Yeah, me too. I'm working on the verbal boundaries, y'all. I swear. I come from a very
No, it's okay. It's part of the culture you came from.
It is. Well, you know how some families, nobody says I love you, and unless it's super important or whatever. My family, it's like everybody says it. Like we can be screaming at each other, having a fight, and we'll insert, look, I love you, but you're fucking wrong about this and you're being stupid. Like that. I mean, it's just
I do that because I came from a super stuffy family where people didn't talk about anything. So I go out of my way to be the exact opposite.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Well, I'm also my son's 11, so I try to have that balance because my dad saw something in me, so he was like, you have to learn how to fight and blah blah blah. Like you could be a warrior and read books, you know.
That sounds right. No, I get it. The Roman Catholic slash and I hope you're not a Latinx term, like I or the Latinx thing, like I get it, like
because I'm black and half Mexican, so I grew up extremely, you know, extremely way more conservative than people think. You know, people from my dad's generation were extremely conservative, and on my mom's side, she still is a Roman Catholic, goes to church every Sunday. They have a live stream. They have a live stream, you know, from the church.
My mother used to go to church like 5. Yeah, they do too. My mother, before the pandemic, my mother went to church like 6 days a week. Went to mass 6 days a week. Got her communion. Got her rosary in. She's broken so many rosaries because she says one every night as she's going to sleep. That that my spouse bought her like an extra tough one so she couldn't break it if she fell asleep. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You know, the one thing that I will say that was gross about my church is that my dad's when my dad we had to get all his funeral arrangements ready, so it had been 20 years since I had walked into my church, and in the office they have this giant statue. And it's Mary holding Jesus. And I took a picture of it, and I told the lady that worked at the church, I've known her my whole life. I said, oh, you know, this is amazing artwork. Mm-hmm. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, there's only 3 of them. I said, what, in, you know, like, is this a cast?
In the city?
Said, in the world.
Whoa, okay.
And I looked at her and I said, really? And she said, yeah. She said, go look on the back. It's from Italy. It was handmade, and there's only 3 of them in the world. And it's at my, I don't want to dox myself, but it's
you don't want to tell me.
It's disgusting how much money they have. That's my whole point.
Yeah. No, you know, it's how they get us though, because it's how the culture becomes the thing.
I was shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked to you know, people I know who are like Reformed Jewish, and they're you know, they don't believe in God, but they have the Jewish identity because they feel like they have to, you know, because their people, you know, were almost killed off, right? So you know, genocide kind of makes you, you know. Anyway, so point is, yeah. So the point is that like so I talked to cultural Jews. And they're like, oh yeah, I've known cultural Catholics like my whole life. Like I know those people. Like it's a thing because we have this huge history and this huge melting. Like when I talk about like growing up with so many like Latinx people, it's because I did. You know, I grew up with a lot of Italians, a lot of Irish, and a lot of people from Mexico and various other countries and down in South America as well. So it's just
Jesus down there.
That's right. And in fact, like at one point I was making the sign of the cross like that. And it was, you know, my family didn't do that because they were like German and Scottish Catholic. So they don't do that at the end. But I would do it.
Every time I drive past my church, it's still weird to me that I don't do that.
Right?
It's still to this day, and the church, unfortunately, is like right in the middle of my town. You know, so for no matter what I'm doing, I have to drive. It's still every time I drive past it. But that's the conditioning. You know.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right. You are so right. This is why I wanted to talk to you more. Yeah, because you're so right. Like, I mean, I do the same thing. Like my mother. You know, and me, I was raised to like make the sign of the cross every time you pass a Catholic church, even for driving. Like if you see an ambulance, you do it. You know, anything. Huh. I mean, there's so much time. I had one moment during the election that I freaking crossed myself, and then I felt slightly shitty, and then you know my wonderful and amazing partner reminded me that you know, hey, you were conditioned to do that. It's okay. Calm down.
I still say, oh my God. I've conditioned myself. I conditioned myself to say, "Oh my gods," like on Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, I
try not
was
to
a
curse in front of my son, so I say frack all the time. I
frack.
say, mother fracker. I'll be driving. I'm like, you mother fracker. I'll say Lords of Kobol or something, you know.
Yeah, no, I do. Well, I
I
was also neo-pagan for a long time.
oh,
Like
yeah,
once I stopped being Catholic, I was neo-pagan for way the fuck too long. So the oh my gods part comes really easily. But at the same time, it's just so strange. It's like some of that early programming and wiring. I mean, it's like it's in there
I'm not trying to be
forever.
too counselor, but like for me, it was forgiving myself and moving on. And I know it's harsh, but like, you know, when you're Catholic, you feel guilty about everything.
Everything.
You apologize for everything, like a Canadian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I've done it like 8 times on this stream.
Annoying. There's people that I hang out with every day. Like I'll get in the car and they're like, "All right, I don't want to hear. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear." You know, they know the spiel. You know.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's like, you know, Dunk Shop says to me all the time, like, I'll say I'm sorry, and they say, "What are you apologizing for? That's not your fault this time." And most of the time, my answer is, "I don't know."
Just like Stool was saying, you know, it's hard for me to. Sometimes I don't realize how much the military is a religion in America.
Yeah,
like, it is. In my family, like quite literally, my cousin and I are the only 2 men to not serve since the Civil War, at least with our last name. You know, and it's not. I tried to join, but I would cost the military more, so they wouldn't let me join. I have asthma.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Well,
they would let me join.
At least 3 generations of my family have served that I know of, possibly more, but at least 3. And so when my father was a veteran of a foreign war and both of my brothers were active in the military, I was just graduating from high school. And I didn't take the ASVAB because I knew I wasn't going to go into the military. And they called and called. They wanted me bad. They were like, "Hey, your dad's been in, your brothers were in, your grandfather was in. Come on." So the Army was calling me all the fucking time. And finally, the last gentleman I spoke with, I just laid it out. I said, "Sir, I have 20/1600 vision without my glasses. I'm 20 pounds overweight at 18. I am not military material. You don't want me." And he said, "Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day." And I said, "Thank you." And they never called back.
I got the same thing with my lungs. Once they found out that my lungs were spiked, they were like, "Oh, have a good day, sir. Have a good day."
And I had
it goes back to like in America, like you're an investment. So they'll invest in you if you're a healthy young person. But if you're with a disability like myself, like something like asthma, you know, and I'm still relatively fit. I've gained 25 pounds in the lockdown. But
seriously? You look amazing.
I was 175 pounds my entire adulthood. And in the past 8 months, I've gained 25 pounds.
I say fuck you with a lot of love in my heart.
Almost 27 pounds. But I'm lanky. I'm long, so it's distributed.
Oh, okay, you're tall. That's what it is. Okay.
No, I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8".
You're 5'8"? Okay, I'm 5'4". And I've gained more than 20 pounds in the lockdown. And there are parts of me I don't quite recognize, which is very disturbing. Like, I do not like.
This vest was huge on me before. I put it on this morning when I went shopping, and I'm like, ooh, it actually fits. There are certain advantages to gaining weight.
There are, and it's fine.
But see, that's the thing. I was talking about this with a friend of mine. Like, no matter what your size is, you want to be the opposite size.
That's fair. That is absolutely fair.
I've been skinny my whole life. I would have, when the wizard came to town, I would have asked him for 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I always wanted to be like one of those pixie chicks who was like, you know, like a size 4 or 3. And I at the least when I was 18 and in peak condition, I weighed 155 pounds. And I looked cute. I looked great at 155 because my people carry, you know, we're fucking German and Scottish. I know you hate that. Sorry, but but we are, and like we just carry weight well. I know. He's looking at me like, fuck you. But it's true though. You look at like family pictures of everyone in my family, and they're like super active. There's like photos of them playing tennis and doing all this like active shit, and they're not tiny because we're not built that way, and I'm okay with that. I am not okay with the quarantine weight I've gained on top of that. Like I can maintain in my 30s, I could maintain a weight that I looked really damn cute in, and I was fine with that. But now I'm like, I don't fit into any of my pants, which is not cool.
I know it. You know what? Don't feel sorry for the skinny guy. Don't.
It's fine.
The older I get, you know, I can't. I don't miss being 175 pounds, but the older I get, I can't lose weight. You know.
Yeah, it is a lot harder. Yeah, I gotta say.
But I'm not into sports. I work with mentally disabled adults, but I work on a property that is 65 acres, and nice. So I'm head of the maintenance department, so I'm very active, always doing something, you know. But even with that, you know, as you get older, you gain weight.
Yeah, for sure. And I was a lot better off. Like, you know, before I got laid off, you know, we had an hour lunch break. And so I'd eat lunch and then I'd go walk for half an hour. And I was 20 to 30 pounds lighter just because I could walk for half an hour at lunch, which is just no great hardship.
We've been on lockdown because of my job. Like, we've been on lockdown since the beginning of the year. So I've been eating cupcakes and making cornbread and cakes. I literally made a cake and put fuck in the middle, and everybody laughed and we ate it. You know, like just,
good. There's nothing wrong with that.
You know, so, I'm making cupcakes. Like, I didn't even have a sweet tooth.
Sometimes you need some comfort food. That's okay.
Even the election got me rattled. Like I put on the first Doctor. I have old VHSs of old Doctor Who's. So I started with the first one.
Oh fuck! The old like black and white.
I'm a hoarder, so I have access to people who have old VHSs and stuff, and I go looking for these things.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I have anything next to. I have more books next to me, but like. I go looking for old movies. Like I love black and white movies. I was watching Citizen Kane before the elections, and I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Oh yeah.
I watched it twice, and I was like, ugh, because I have a DVD player here, like next to my when I'm working and doing stuff online. Like I'll have a movie on or something, you know. But I couldn't watch Citizen Kane anymore.
No, I understand that. Junk Shop and I, one of our great dates before we got married was we realized through talking that Casablanca was both of our favorite. Like, if we had to pick a favorite movie of all time, it was Casablanca.
You're in the desert. Oh, damn, that was the wrong line. What did he say? That's my favorite movie. I was about to start quoting.
So good, right?
I was literally about to start quoting.
You're all good. You're all good.
When he's like, oh, I came here for the waters, and then the other guy's like, waters? What waters? We live in the desert. I love that movie.
Oh, it's so good. So yeah, so we I went over to their apartment because it was, you know, before we were living together and stuff. And I went over to their apartment and we had just I cooked Britties, which is a Scottish dish that with sausage and chopped onions and stuff, and then you put them in these little pastries. And they're like pies. They're like little meat pies.
Can I just say,
yes,
I'm
please.
eating pizza and playing with my dick. I've not put a single pound on. So
there's nothing wrong with that. You are amazing.
You're not eating American food where there's nothing but sugar and sodium.
Oh my god, and sodium, which is why I have edema right now. Apparently,
I honestly, if you took that out of my diet, I would probably keel over and die. If you took the sodium and all those,
we've been married for 5 years. It'll be 6 in March.
We
Sorry.
actually have.
Please go ahead.
Oh my God! Can you make that picture go away, please?
What picture?
Make what go away?
Spaghetti face. Make that go away.
There's a spaghetti face? No, there's not. Okay, nope, apparently not. And we don't want to. I'm sorry, Godless, what were you saying?
I was about to go off on Casablanca. One of my favorite scenes when Humphrey Bogart looks at Major Strazza, and they're like, "Oh, can you picture us in Paris? Can you picture us in London? Can you picture us in?" And he's like, "Well,
in New York,
Brooklyn, you might not want to.
You might not. There's certain parts of Brooklyn you might not want to venture into. Something like that. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Or they're like, "What's your nationality?" And he's like, "Drunkard." I'm a drunkard. I love when people ask me, "What race are you?" I sound drunkard. I'm a drunkard. I love Casablanca.
Oh,
they speak a language that people don't speak anymore.
Yeah, right. And also understood sacrifice in a really sad and horrible way, but yeah. And it's so great. I just that's both of our favorite movies. And they have the Criterion Collection version. So we watched it one night, had a nice meal, drank some red wine. It's great. Highly recommend it. And moving on, I don't know why I brought that up anymore, because drunk.
Oh, because I collect old movies. I'm a hoarder. I'm a real life hoarder. I do it to overcompensate for all my shortcomings.
Sure, but you are.
So to stay out of trouble, I occupy myself with I work in a very virtuous field I was gone throughout my entire 20s, and when I came back, I started working with my family and so because I work around mentally disabled adults, it just kind of made me appreciate life more and not I don't know. It'll make you really appreciate what you have, and be thankful. And my life wasn't always the greatest, but I look at it more as a lesson and than something to look back at and be mad about, But,
my parents weren't perfect, but they loved us. And,
I always
that's the
tell
most important thing.
Oh, by California standards, both my parents would be in federal prison. We were held to a high standard when I was a kid.
No, I think you're confused, Mecha Raptor. I cannot imagine Casablanca getting banned for racism because I don't know what. There's one black character named Sam, and he's treated with respect through the whole movie.
He really more than he would have been in America.
Yeah, for sure. And beyond that, it was set during World War II, so there are Nazis in it, but they're not running around. It's not a Nazi movie, so it's not like Schindler's List or anything. So I can't imagine what. No, I would think not.
And the thing is that I'm thinking of 5 or 6 different things that are on Netflix that are outright racist,
right?
Haven't taken off.
And you're like, what the fuck got banned that was so bad?
Yeah, their policies are really consistent. It's more a matter of what did some group complain about.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very much that. Because legitimately, you can look at some things and be like, okay, yeah, that's not even fucking subtle.
Yeah, that's not even okay.
I try not to be too much of a gatekeeper, but when you are overtly racist, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, we have to.
Because any other way, I just consider that, honestly, I consider it a sign of unintelligence. If you're constantly worried about race, there's something wrong with you.
Especially or deep
when it comes to movies that are decades old, I don't think we should be hiding those away. I think they should be out because it's a place to start a conversation on, have we made some progress since then?
Yes,
absolutely. Because during this lockdown, I've been at home. I've been watching Are You Being Served? From the I love that show.
I do too.
I've started season 1. They say some stuff that's considered racist. I laugh my ass off.
Me too.
I love it. I absolutely
there were a couple of moments where I was uncomfortable.
Me
in Are
too,
You Being Served? But at the same time, I was like, okay, am I? I mean, clearly this was cool for the time.
But I watched Sanford and Son, and they say the N word a bunch,
right?
And it makes
I grew up with that show.
You know, that's what I'm saying. So it's one of those things. It's like,
yeah.
But one of the things that makes me angry is when we apply our Puritan standards to something that we weren't even around.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Because I'm British, therefore I'm better than you. Also,
all right. Well, you should have taken Yorktown.
Sewing. I'm just going to say this. I'm white, so you can fuck off. That's a joke.
I can take it.
I know you can. I wouldn't have said it if I knew you couldn't.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Is
I want to talk about this because I was basically bored out of my tits because you people have been talking about sewing and all kinds of boring crap.
That was like an hour ago.
So I was falling asleep.
There.
But now my new friend Sewing mentioned Are You Being Served?
I love that show. Absolutely love it.
Now I'm going to tell you something, my new friend Sewing. In the 70s, this country was racist as fuck.
I see it. I see it in the thing.
Oh, but it was something to be laughed at.
Yeah. That's how I look at it. Though.
It was not cool. Totally not cool.
But when I look back,
a lot of the comedy shows or TV shows from that era, you will never see on your TV ever again because they are so no.
I try to look back with indifference though, because I watched was it an old Lauren Horror? It was like Amos and Andy, and I couldn't take it. But I try to look back with indifference, you know, when I watch these shows.
Yeah,
the most
it's rough to be
outrageous word.
But yeah,
the most outrageous word in Are You Being Served was pussy.
Pussy.
Yes,
and
my
dad had to tell me. He had to explain. I was so shocked. Initially, I was watching it. It was on PBS
all the time.
in 1992. Yeah, Miss Slocum. And she said, "My pussy will be wet and very angry." And I was like, "Dad, what the fuck?" And I didn't say what the fuck to my father because he would have smacked me. But he said he explained. He said she means her cat.
Look at the
That's
memes.
the joke. And I was like, oh.
They were actually quite hilarious. But in the 70s, the word pussy meant cat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it means pussy. So
yeah.
Where I'm from, it means you're getting in a fist fight. You call someone
Mrs. Slocum, and I am unanimous in this, has become funnier over time.
I say, great. I'm free. I love Mr. Humphreys.
Mr. Humphreys. Oh my gosh, the actor that played that, I saw an interview with him, and he had this. He said, after the pilot was watched, absolutely. They said that it's great, but get rid of the poofter, right? Which is different. Like it'd be saying a really hateful word.
But in those days, in the 70s and 80s, in this country, being gay was no.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't okay here either.
In the show, they constantly they call him a poof. They call him all kinds of and we have to pretend that he's bi though. In the show, he literally pretends like he's bisexual because he'll always say they'll always make jokes like, "Oh,
my friend,
you're on the fence, Mr. Humphreys," and he's like, "Oh, it's good to be on both sides of the fence and see what's right."
Yeah. Or he'll be talking about his friend, and then it turns out to be a lady. But
everybody knows he's funny, but you're not actually allowed to admit that you understand the humor.
Right. Yeah.
In this country, it was. I mean, at the time, it was hilarious because we were stupid and we knew no better.
Yeah. But at the same time, like the writers of the show, fought to keep his character on.
The writers of
and they did that.
The writers of that show wrote all the famous things that you've ever seen ever.
Mm-hmm.
They wrote pretty much every famous British sitcom ever, and it was I don't know what you call it, lavatorial British humour.
Well,
It
you
was
can tell
all
because they recycle
they
the
were told,
actors too.
"Hoo-hoo, let's pretend. Here's a little joke about people who might be gay." That kind of shit.
Every
Yeah,
episode.
It was homophobic. I mean, it looks homophobic now, but at the time, it was actually like kind of freeing because Mr. Humphreys, I don't know how, you know,
A lot of those things
my experience of that is that like he was my favorite character, like
he
from the
was
get-go.
hilarious. I'm not having a dig.
I know
at you.
you're not. No, I know you're not. I'm saying that
was
like
an absolute classic. It got the most biggest ratings ever.
Yeah,
Does that make us bad? I'm gonna
no.
But
okay.
also the Black and White Minstrel Show.
Oh fuck! Okay, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That was horrible.
Yeah, there is a line. You know, I was watching an old Benny Hill skit, and I was watching it, and
you're right, my corrector.
3 minutes into it, I was like, "Is that blackface?" You know?
Yeah.
But I just kind of twitched, and I don't know, but also culturally, I'm different because I grew up in a upper middle class area, so I grew up around people always making cracks, always saying something semi-racist. And when I was a kid, people would say mean things about Jewish people. They would say like, "Oh, don't be this or don't be that."
Yeah, one of my friends in kindergarten, the other kids threw pennies at him because they knew he was Jewish.
I have much more of a higher tolerance because I grew up in a semi-integrated society and people said things, but no, I never considered it as racist. But there are people who grew up 30 miles from here who, if they were sitting in this seat, they would be like, "No, those MFs are racist." You know?
Well, because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this, if you don't mind. And bear in mind, I just did snooze off for a few minutes.
Well, yeah, I'm a yak.
I'm not totally with you.
You're fine.
I'm also smoking.
That's fine. I am too.
The black and white. This is something that I think about because it bugs me. But the Black and White Minstrel Show was the name of a TV program that ran for about.
Really?
Up. It ran for about It ran for about 15 years. And it was prime time, Saturday night, big viewers.
What?
It was, and this is in the days. To be fair, this was in the days when we only had 3 TV channels.
Okay.
To watch.
But I'm not trying to. I don't even want to say it because it might be considered racist. But in the UK, don't you guys have a dog called a gollywog? Is that what it's called?
No, we'll do that later.
Black dog thing.
Let's do that later.
It's the wrong country. That's your country though, isn't it?
No, I think we'll get there.
We'll get on.
We'll get on too much BBC or what?
We'll do that after this one. Okay. And we are now going back to the 70s. So
yeah.
I want to give the both of you a hug right now because this is difficult.
To be fair to me, Britain in the 70s was racist as fuck.
Yeah, and you're just talking about history. We're not talking about you being racist.
Yeah, and I don't blame anybody for the past.
Yeah,
like I said in the beginning of this conversation, in my bloodline, literally have slave and slave owner, quite literally.
The thing is, what I'm getting at here is, this was literally biggest audience viewer thing on a Saturday night on BBC One.
Oh wow!
Right? Okay. I was a little child. And I could not understand. Firstly, it was supposed to be humorous. It was not. Secondly, it was shit. And thirdly, I could not understand why white people were painting their face with black and painting their lips with white. I thought that was stupid. And I was a child.
I agree.
I hadn't even heard the word racist in my life. But I knew damn well it was not right.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I know what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
something in my head said that is not fucking right.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, I went to hardcore catechism classes, and even I was told as a kid, if you're not Catholic, you're going to hell. Yeah, I knew that was wrong. I knew the moment I heard it, I was like, nope, hell's gonna be fun because you guys are lame. Like,
I'm gonna get bored really quickly unless Sewing now goes back to that second question.
Okay.
What was the second?
But he's forgot what it is.
I have. I don't know
I get up early.
Hollywood doll.
Oh, Gollywog. Gollywog.
Oh yeah, Gollywog.
4 times now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, the Gollywog.
Gollywog.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's a lot of kids from the UK that grew up with super racist, super, But I don't hold. When I saw it, I like I said, I don't go in the past to look for things to get angry. I could look down the street to get mad at people.
Yeah.
I don't go fishing to get angry. I try to have indifference. That's why when I look back at history,
it used to be.
Sorry, I was trying to rewrap my stuff and it wasn't working.
You call it jelly.
What's that?
You call it jelly.
Yeah.
We call it jam. A tub of.
Oh yeah.
Well, it depends on where you live. People call it jam.
As in you put your knife in and you spread it on a piece of bread or something.
Yeah.
There is a difference between jelly and jam.
Yeah.
And
sorry, guys. I only say that because my best friend makes jelly and jams. Makes jellies and jams, and they are different.
Oh gosh, I don't even like saying the word.
I was about to say, you made me say it 4 times, man.
I've never said that word for like decades. But
it's racist.
No, I know how you feel. Like it's why I can't say I can't say the N word. I can't do it.
It was the picture. It was the trademark on the jam that we ate.
Yes, that's what I saw. I watched too much BBC. That's what I saw. That's how I even know what it is.
I'll tell you something even more fucking shit. Yeah, actually I won't because this will annoy me. But no, it actually will annoy me because we were really fucking racist in this country in the 50s, 60s, 70s, massively, and I'm embarrassed about it. So there are certain words I will not say, or
thank you
references I won't refer to.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that sunshine was a derogatory term. Saying like, "Hey, sunshine" to a person of color. I had no idea because in America we have our own racist undertones that we say to each other.
Oh yeah, we have our own microaggressions, that's for sure.
But in my I go looking for weird things on the internet because I know about American culture. I could sit here and bore you with American culture. So I go looking for things in other cultures, and I hear this and then they don't sound racist to me. Like for me to say the G word or whatever, gollywog, it doesn't sound anything to me. But if I said that to someone, I get socked in the face.
I don't know if you guys have this thing on your television. But you'll get a TV program that looks back at history and they'll say, oh, let's look at the top 50 really shit things that happened in the past.
Yeah.
And it's like a kind of top 50, ooh, how shit were we kind of thing. And you know what? We were so fucking, you think your country is your country is racist, obviously. But
oh yes,
we know that.
There was a cynical laugh, but yes, I agree with it.
The 5 years ago, I would have said that we're not that bad, but I've been proven wrong.
Me too.
I
agree with you.
I mean, let's be honest. We invented it. We invented racism. So the shit that you can see. Most of the programs, most of the TV programs that might have been popular or that got all the audiences, you will never see them repeated on our TVs now because they were so fucking vile.
Well, at least you're not repeating them. That's
there was one show that All in the Family.
Oh,
What was the British version of that?
I don't know, but All in the Family. I was trying to describe this to to Junk Shop the other day because they'd never seen it, and I was like, okay, it was completely satirical, but it was basically this racist couple that, or this couple that, you know,
that's the thing.
I mean, the theme song. I sang the theme song because I was like, it says it all,
sing
like
the theme
right there.
song. Even I know the theme song.
Yeah, and I was like, you know, all the, but then I was like, but then the guy who played Archie Bunker in All in the Family also played the one of the good guys, the only guy willing to have a black partner in the heat of the night. So I was like, no, this guy is like, I mean, yeah, it's very tokenistic. It sounds weird now, but like at the time,
In the Heat of the Night used to scare me when I was a kid.
Oh God,
because
me too.
The KKK and all those racists, like just the thought of that used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Oh, me too. And I remember thinking,
it didn't
like,
go on around here, you know.
No, it didn't happen where I lived either, as far as I knew. But like
one particular
it was
comedy
so great.
series from the 70s.
Not the KKK. I'm sorry. Really quickly, like, so I just have to explain what I just said. No, it was not great. The KKK was so active down in Mississippi. My point is just that, like, it's. I didn't realize either, and it made you think about it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Who am I talking to?
I don't know. Me.
Who are you talking to?
I just felt the need to explain the Heat of the Night thing because I made a comment that could have been taken out of context.
There, so who are you talking to?
Well, actually, we've got like 5 people active in the side chat too.
Hey.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
when my new friend comes back, I'll continue this conversation.
Yeah. One of the things that I will always remember about All in the Family was that my father didn't get it.
Oh no!
And I have
take it literally.
I have one distinct memory when I was probably about 10 years old that we were in the living room watching it, and he walked through right in the middle of Archie Bunker doing one of his rants. And my father said, "You kids listen to this guy. He makes good sense."
Sorry. I couldn't hold it anymore. I had to run.
Yeah. So just, yeah. And my father had a strange brand of racism that, because of his experience in the war and his union, he was okay with black people, but he had a real problem with Mexicans.
Oh, wow.
And he would say things like, "I don't have anything against Mexicans. They just don't work as hard as other people." And to him, not working hard was like one of the biggest insults he could have made to anyone.
I understand that generation though, because my dad was kind of the same. He wasn't opinionated, but if he called you lazy, that was like the biggest insult of all time. Because to be lazy is like your arms are broken and your feet, you're useless.
Yeah. That's to my dad. Anything that was wasting time or being unproductive was an incredible sin.
There was a horrendous sitcom in the 70s. And again, it was massive ratings. It was massive popular. Everybody watched it. You will never, ever see it on DVD or repeated on TV ever now again.
What show was that?
And the premise was, this is how fucking racist this fucking country was in the 70s. The premise of this was, white family, a black family moves in next door. Oh, let's all laugh at the black people. And it was horrendous because they used a certain word.
That's probably the show I was talking about. That's probably because America copies all of your shows, and then Mexico copies ours, and then Japan copies theirs.
The original, they use certain terminologies they use certain words to call each other.
Mm-hmm.
And God, I feel sick even thinking about it now. But
I know it because I grew up in the valley. It sounds racist when I even say it.
you know what? The really embarrassing thing is we laughed at it. We thought it was funny. We thought it was comedy. Hey,
I know what you're saying though, but that I'm not.
Imagine this: a black person moving next door to a white person.
That's good because we live in the future and we look back and judge them. You know, it's because we. That's why I was so shocked at how half of my country is still racist as hell, even after all the psychotic things that have happened in the past 4 years. I was shocked on how close the election was. I was actually
me too.
It's shocked. I'm still kind of shocked. But that map shows me where I can't live now. So I'm actually kind of appreciative because I want to move out of California. So I've traveled around when I was younger, so I've seen over the hill. It's just I love fair weather, you know. But I'm appreciative.
It's so fucked up. I know exactly what you mean. It's like it was way too close. Like it should have been a freaking landslide against this orange monstrosity.
If any of us had acted like Donald Trump in public, they'd put us in jail. If you had gone out or had a job, they would have fired you and then put you in jail. You know, so it's just the talk.
If any Democratic congressman had done the same thing.
Oh,
you're doing politics, but I've not finished my thing.
Please go on. No, you're right, Purple, though. Like, Michelle Obama showed her shoulders and people freaked out, you know? Like, the stuff we've had to put up with the past 4 years has just been atrocious, you know?
The big laughs, the really big, hilarious laughs that the audience laughed at were when they used the names.
Yeah.
So the black couple would refer to the white people as honkies.
Ugh.
I don't know what that fuck means. No idea what that means.
It means it's when white men were insulted by dating black women, so they pull up in front of their houses and honk, so the lady would come out for the date, but they would not go to the door and knock like a gentleman.
Is that where that came from?
It was not that advanced. This was 70s British humour, but the white
that happened
couple,
long before that.
The white couple who were scared because these different coloured people had moved in next door, what did they call them?
We know what they call them.
No.
What was it?
They couldn't use that word. But I'll tell you something, whenever they said it, fucking laughter. Because in 70s racist Britain, that was a funny fucking word. And they called that. I don't even want to say it because it embarrasses me.
That goes back to what I was thinking about Are You Being Served? There's an episode where a Japanese gentleman comes in and they clown his accent. They clown and they point out every stereotype you possibly can, you know. It's harsh. Yeah. Even the episode when the Arab guy comes in.
Oh God! Get in the end scene.
I've been watching it, so I have it locked and loaded.
This crucifies me, Soin, because
you know what though, I don't want to be mean.
I love 70s British sitcoms, but there is something really. No,
I agree with you. I don't even want to get started on your country. Like, I know about Windrush. I'll start crying right now about the Windrush generation, about just all those things that have happened recently. You know, it really, I actually stopped watching your news because of things like that, because of like just things that have been happening like in the past 4 or 5 years, you know?
The word is nignog.
Bad. Yeah, that sounds bad. I've never heard it before. It sounds bad.
It's not even a real term.
But to me, it literally, like, to me, like saying hello, you know.
The thing is, 20 million British people laughed at that fucking word.
I know what you're saying.
Because that was a comedy thing.
And that sucked. But
you know, as an American, like if there's one thing I understand, it's racism.
Yeah.
If there's one thing, the systematic racism, people get brainwashed and you get told things and then you start believing them. And then, you know, like I said, even less than even the Catholic thing, like you hear the way I'm speaking, you see how I act. Imagine how it was when I moved, when I first moved out of California, I moved to Arizona. And then from Arizona was pretty much just like where I lived. It was upper middle class, big parks. It was a great place to live. Then I moved to actual Los Angeles, the real Los Angeles. It was culture shock. It was utter and complete. And I grew up 30 miles from there. It was culture shock. I didn't reflect anything that was any culture. And I spoke Spanish. And, you know, I'd get around black people and they'd be like, who are you and what are you? You know, I received racism from people, you know.
All sides.
Yeah, all sides. It's one of those things. But in my hometown, all people of color kind of like stuck together. So we, you know, it was extremely tolerant. So when I went out in the real world, it wasn't at all in any way, shape, or form. You know, it was a real. But that's what happens when you grow up in an integrated society. You know, people were racist, people were nice. It's, you know. But when people are scared of Trumpers and stuff, I will say this: growing up in a town and being in a town with a lot of right-wing people, they're bullies. If you were face to face with some of them, they would not say a word to you. Like even today, it made me laugh how many trucks I saw without Trump flags on them, because there are trucks everywhere. In my town, there's a guy who on his truck it says "Trumpin' ain't easy." I can't wait to see that guy and just do the Nelson and point and laugh. Like, and those paint jobs aren't cheap, you know. So people, they've turned Trump into a religion, you know. And
I think sometimes I feel very
anything.
utterly embarrassed.
They should be, as they should be.
I know you can't, you know, be responsible for the history. I didn't do any of these things, but I am embarrassed.
I know what you're saying, but feeling guilty for the past, like I try not to feel guilty about what other people did, you know.
Maybe
in your name.
I think what you've just done then is triggered me, because you've just mentioned a really wonderful TV show, Are You Being Served, which is hilarious.
Nice,
I love that show. I still watch it.
It's utterly hilarious. And I'll tell you something, this is one of, if you're British, you're not, but it's something that we cherish dearly. We love it.
That's awesome.
But it's got a little bit of things that are not.
I mean, it was a product of its time, but one can look at it that way.
And I don't
know, you know, well, wow, it's also kind of progressive.
It's not just that. We've also got things that we cannot ever watch again because they're so bad.
Just like I was Julie, like there were shows in America that when I was a kid that used to scare me, you know. Especially the late 80s stuff, because they would hammer home the racism. Like there was bad stuff on American television in the late 80s. You know,
when you and I were all young and impressionable. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But see, that's the thing. Growing up out here, it was like
I can win. I can beat you all because you've never had Jimmy Savile. So.
Why did you have to bring that
guy? You're right. Unfair, but.
I watched a special on that guy too. He's a scumbag. That guy's a total scumbag. Then he went to hospitals so he could get people that wouldn't scream. he's a weirdo. Jimmy Savile. I was very unimpressed by Jimmy Savile. Very unimpressed.
Mm-hmm.
He was the most famous person on TV.
Is that why they talk about him so much? I always wondered about that.
He was like the biggest star on TV. He was the BBC's biggest person in the 70s and 80s.
Wow.
And it's a long story, but one of the shows that he did was where he gave children their
Also
wishes.
Friends.
Yes.
Ew.
Jimmy Savile was gross. He was definitely I'm trying to refrain from what I really want to say about the guy.
Don't even say it.
A disgusting pedophilia.
Don't even say it, because the thing is, obviously you're not British, so you're not familiar with all the details, but whatever you think about him, multiply it by 100 and you've still not got there.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
okay.
I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but that's how I feel about Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, to me, when I was a kid, I literally tried to dress like that guy. I wore a vest. I put on one of my dad's vests because it looked like a vest he wore.
I get what you're saying.
He gave me the willies.
Because I used to love Jackson's music. I really did.
And I have a son with autism, and Michael Jackson generated towards people with disabilities. So he would go for poor families and be like, hey, I'll change your life if you let your son spend the night at my house. Like, you can't excuse that. I'm sorry.
No.
Grown man having children who are not your I'm sorry. He wasn't even uncle, you know, like, and Michael Jackson broke my heart. That broke my heart.
Me too.
You know, like still to this day, I can't even listen to his music. That's how
I can't. That's what I was going to say. I cannot do it.
No, and I love the guy. I can seriously sing his songs, and
there are things that I can't do. I cannot listen to Michael Jackson's music anymore.
Yeah,
and I know every fucking word of all his songs, even though I'm too old. Because
me too.
He did good music.
Absolutely.
But
it just sucks that he was such a
horrible person. I also can't watch a film with what's he called? That little dwarf person.
Depends. No, not Warwick Davis. Somebody else.
No. Bigger. Slightly bigger.
Okay.
In person, he's not that.
I can't remember his fucking name. What's he called?
Was he in was he in Game of Thrones?
No, this is the worst quiz show ever. He's really famous.
Sorry.
I can't remember his name.
Okay, so it wasn't Warwick Davis. It was not the really hot dwarf actor who, God damn it, I can't think of his name. But anyway, was in Game of Thrones.
No, he's short, but he's got black hair. He's really famous. He's not a smally person.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said he was. I apologize. I thought you said
films. What's he called?
Give me a film name, title.
Famous actor. Top Gun.
That doesn't help.
Top Gun? Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise, that's the fucker.
Oh, fuck that asshole.
Can't watch any of that fucker.
Jesus, no, I can't either.
I agree with you. Once I found out how hardcore a Scientologist he was years ago, I stopped watching his movies.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't watch anymore.
I agree with you.
Do it.
I agree with you.
God,
there is honestly, because of the election too, I'm sure you don't know who Ice Cube is, but to my generation, he was one of those people that literally said fuck the police. He literally stood up for rights of people of color, and he came out as a Trumper. I was sitting in this room, and I wish I had something to throw when I found out that Ice Cube wanted Donald Trump.
Hold up. I'm sorry. I need you to say that one more time.
Ice Cube, the rapper, endorsed Donald Trump in the election.
Fucking no! Why?
And I don't want to misquote it. I don't want to say names, but there was another rapper, because they're millionaires. They're so rich they can't be Democrats. These people are they have so much money they can't be Democrats.
God
because
damn it.
And Ice Cube of all people, like he has made an empire since the 90s.
I know. Yeah.
So and also Terry Crews is a transphobe. Complete evangelical Christian. He lives in my town. He lives in my. That's why we're having Trump rallies, because Terry Crews lives here.
Can they remember from where they came?
It makes me angry. It makes me. These are the same people that call me light skinned and tell me, I don't know history, but couldn't tell me who Bass Reeves was, or they don't know American history, at least as far as African Americans go. So there's a whole list of people that have, and unfortunately, it's because of money, and they don't have principles at all.
The other thing that I can't watch, which is a terrible shame, because I'm a huge fan, and this is where I get confused, because Travolta, he's a fucking hardcore.
But what about Tom Hanks? Tom Hanks moved to Greece.
However, I've got to say, Saturday Night Fever is a fucking awesome film. So it's really difficult, because I love that opening shot. The opening scene from Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
It's funny you would say that. When I go out, I feel like an old man, because I go out singing that song in my head, like whenever I go to Vegas, and then everybody they're listening to like rap, and I'm like bumping that in my car or something. Have you guys heard about Tom Hanks?
It's an iconic scene, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Look up
And
Tom
we all
Hanks.
know it.
It is. Yeah, it is an iconic scene.
Saturday Night Fever, and I'm not saying I actually did this a few times, but when I walked down to the pizza place, I'm not saying I've recorded my feet on the phone. I'm not saying I've ever done that. However, it's John Travolta, and he's a fucking cunt. So
okay.
What were you gonna say about Tom Hanks, Douglas?
You should look it up. Tom Hanks moved to Greece for a reason, and it made me want to cry.
No, he's a national treasure, and his wife is amazing.
Just look it up. It's sad. It's sad. That's why.
Okay.
But that's why. But and I'm not gonna. I know.
No, that's fine. I'll look it up.
Are you trying to end the stream, Purple?
Yeah. We've been going close to 3 hours here. So I need to wrap this up.
Right, yeah, we should go.
I could yak forever.
Hey, I love
well,
you guys.
good to have you all here.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was nice to meet you. It was nice to meet everybody. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was nice to actually get to talk to you, us, Galasoing, and
so now you see me in the chat,
Yeah. It was really well. I mean, I knew who you were since you did the interview on my God, Santi's channel. Yeah. So yeah, and I'd seen you in chats before then, and we talked. But yeah, it's nice to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you too, my dear friend from across the ocean. Staying alive. Okay.
Okay.
And
thank you, to everyone in the side chat for hanging out with us. Actually, our crowd is built up just in the last few minutes here.
Oh, and it always happens.
So we've got about a dozen people in here now.
Damn it. Hi, y'all. Love you.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's after 1 a.m. We have to sleep.
But yeah. Okay, so thank you, everybody. Anybody have anything they want to plug coming up?
No, just Wine and Reason is back at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, Central Time. So if y'all can make it, that's great. Beyond that,
awesome. Good. Awesome. I'm not going to make any more promises. I have to edit my videos.
It's so hard.
It's a mountain I got to climb. I got to get over it, though.
Yeah, me too. I never got many edited videos out in the first place, and so when I get the new computer together, I've got to try to do more of them.
Oh, Oh no, I mean, yes. I'm sorry, I was awing what
I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm my generation was the generation before they had computers everywhere, so mine was the last dummies with abacuses.
Yeah, right.
Okay, well, good night, all. Here's the red button.
You didn't ask me.
Oh, sorry.
Did you have something? Okay.